Chapter 228. He's not here. Come in. Qin Baiyuan nodded and didn't forget to close the door. The relationship between the two of them was awkward to begin with. Coupled with the fact that he forcefully kissed her last time, Qin Baiyuan felt that he couldn't raise his head in front of her. He wanted to apologize, but he couldn't open his mouth. He didn't know what to say for a long time. After a long silence he asked, "Are you not feeling well?" "A little. My body has always been not very good." Shi Shujing tried to treat him with the natural attitude of a friend. She chose to forget and let go of the past. "You're too thin." "I'm trying to gain weight." "You don't seem to be in a good state." It wasn't a long time. But if a person was under great mental pressure for a long time, he would become haggard very quickly. Qin Baiyuan's hair was very long now. He didn't cut it and he didn't shave his beard either. He looked a bit weathered. He was completely different from the handsome and extraordinary child he used to be. He seemed to have aged 10 years all of a sudden. Qin Baiyuan touched his face. His hand was pricked by his beard. He didn't realize that his beard was so long. "I didn't shave when I went out today." "Not only today but also for many days, right? You used to love beauty so much. How can you be so sloppy now?" Shi Shujing deliberately teased him in a very relaxed tone. "You used to rely on your face to make a living, but now you want to rely on your talent to make a living." Qin Baiyuan laughed. He hadn't laughed for a long time and he hadn't joked for a long time. But such a laugh was full of sadness. As he laughed, his nose suddenly became sour and he wanted to cry. "Is he good to you?" "Very good. I can't think of a better man than him in the world." "Well, that's good." Shi Shujing looked at him, hesitated for a long time and said, "I'm pregnant." She knew that it might not be appropriate to tell him this, and he wouldn't think it was good news. However, too many things had happened recently and she had suffered too much hostility. She didn't even dare to tell others about the happy news of her pregnancy, including her mother. She really wanted someone to share her joy with. Although Qin Baiyuan didn't treat her well in the past, she had always felt that he was a kind person, and he treated her well now. After all, they had been together for so many years and she treated him as family. Pregnant? Qin Baiyuan's expression was very complicated, as if he didn't know how to digest this matter. His expression changed many times before he finally said one sentence. "It's his? What nonsense am I saying? Of course it's his. Do you think it's mine? But if it was, he would be the happiest man in the world right now. I only got pregnant after our divorce. I'm not saying this to emphasize how noble I am. I just think it's better to make it clear. I hope you can share this good news with me." "Yes." "Congratulations." She was finally pregnant and she was pregnant with the child of the person she loved. It could be considered as compensation for the miscarriage that year. If he told her that she had a miscarriage that year, and it was just that she lost her memory and forgot, how could she face Mr. C? Would they break up? Would she return to his side? Qin Baiyuan had this terrible idea, but it was only for a short time. He suppressed it and despised himself very much. He had brought her too much pain. Now that she finally had a chance to get happiness again, he would protect the secret of that year even if he had to sacrifice his life. "What are you thinking about?" "Nothing. I'm happy for you." It could be seen that although he was a little regretful, this blessing was sincere, and such sincerity was very precious to Shi Shujing, who was in a difficult situation at the moment. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. "Thank you. I also want you to be happy." "Happiness? I don't even dare to think about it. Actually, today I'm accompanying Su Jixin for a prenatal checkup." At the mention of that name, Qin Baiyuan gritted his teeth. "I don't want to come, but she forced me again. I believe that everything happens for a reason. This is especially true for a life. There must be a reason why it came to this world." "The reason is to torture me?" "Don't say that. Su Jixin is Su Jixin, but the child is innocent." "I don't believe in innocence. To me he is a malignant tumor and he is taking revenge on me. It's nothing to get married. At worst, we can just get divorced in the future, but this child will torment me for the rest of my life. Now that I think about it, I feel like my brain is going to explode." "Don't keep giving yourself pressure like this. Relax, maybe the situation will slowly get better." "No, it will only get worse, not better. I'm thinking if I can return to the past, I'm willing to exchange everything for it." "Even if you go back to the past, you will still do the same. Everything is destined to happen and it can't be changed." Qin Baiyuan smiled bitterly and his heart ached. "So, I'm destined to meet you and then lose you?" Shi Shujing didn't know how to answer. Qin Baiyuan's pain now couldn't be comforted by words, and she didn't know how to share all this for him. Let's not talk about this. You're pregnant now and I can't let your baby listen to these bad things in the womb. Unfortunately, I can't be his father or I will love him very much. Although it was her child with another man, as long as her blood flowed in his body, he would do everything to love it as his own child. Unfortunately, he didn't have that kind of luck. Qin Baiyuan sat for a long time before leaving. He found that the door was open a crack, and Mr. C was standing in the corridor. It seemed that he had been standing there for a long time. His heart suddenly tightened and he subconsciously explained. I don't have anything with her, I know. Si Wenqin said lightly, and there was no displeasure between his eyebrows. He was very calm, which surprised Qin Baiyuan. He thought that he would fight with him. Even if you want to do something, she won't agree. Qin Baiyuan was speechless for a long time. Mr. C was too shrewd and he always didn't show his emotions, so he didn't know what he was planning. Then what do you want to do? Are you trying to kill me to silence me by blocking here? Kill you? Si Wenqin felt very funny and raised his eyebrows. Are you worth my dirty hands? To kill you for me it's like pinching an ant to death. In fact, it's almost the same. I don't need to do it myself. Although it hurt his self-esteem, this was also the truth. Qin Baiyuan was very painful. He didn't want to live, but he also didn't want to die in the hands of his rival in love, so he simply asked directly. What do you want to do? When Qin Baiyuan asked Si Wenqin, he was even mentally prepared to risk his life. Previously he was almost killed by Si Wenqin in the stock market. Qin Baiyuan could do anything even more ruthless. However, the other party's answer was far beyond his expectation. I want to ask you for a favor. Favor? Qin Baiyuan was shocked. These two words came out of such an arrogant person's mouth, which surprised him more than kill your whole family. Did I hear it wrong? You said favor? Qin Baiyuan asked again. Is your brain on fire or is there something wrong with your brain? Or you want to trick me? I won't be fooled. Si Wenqin looked at Qin Baiyuan, who was alarmed and on guard. He felt like he was an idiot. Talking to a pig brain like him was really tiring. He didn't know what Shi Shujing saw in him in the past. Although he had a favor to ask of him, he was still mocking Qin Baiyuan's intelligence. If I want to trick you, it depends on whether you are worth it. You and Shi Shujing have divorced. As for Blue Sky, I don't like it. What do you think I want? Who knows what you want? You are so insidious. God knows what you want. Qin Baiyuan had suffered too many losses before, so he was full of defense against him. Moreover, his whole body, including the expression of his eyebrows, was extremely arrogant. He didn't look like he was asking for help at all. It was more appropriate to say that he wanted to trick him. Let's be straightforward. Don't play any tricks. Tell me, what do you want? Give me a straightforward answer. I want you to protect Shi Shujing. Qin Baiyuan was even more surprised. Don't you want to peel off my skin when I get close to her? How can you let me protect her? Can't you protect yourself? Of course I can. Si Wenqin said resolutely. Even if I have to risk my life, I will protect her. But now there are too many people who want to harm her and I can't guard against them. The reason why she is lying here now is that someone did something to her elevator. I think the other party knows she is pregnant and wants to make her miscarry. Who is so ruthless? Qin Baiyuan cursed, clenching his fists tightly as if he was going to fight with the other party. Su Jixin? She doesn't have the guts. At present, I am only sure that someone did something to the elevator. As for who, I haven't found out yet. So, I need you to help me protect her. Why don't you suspect that I hurt her? I have been in the business world for so many years and I have seen too many people. I can still distinguish between human and ghost. No matter how scum you are, you can't hurt her. Qin Baiyuan cursed. You're the scum. I won't argue with you on this topic. In short, you have to keep an eye on Su Jixin. Don't let her play tricks. I know. Qin Baiyuan said fiercely. If she dares to hurt Shi Shujing, I will kill her. Si Wenqin didn't expect that one day he would join hands with the person he once despised the most. However, compared with Shi Shujing's safety, his self-esteem was insignificant, and his jealousy was also insignificant. He couldn't tell who was good and who would harm her. And Qin Baiyuan was the only one he could trust at present. Seeing Si Wenqin walk into the ward, Shi Shujing's eyes immediately lit up. You're back. Yes. Why don't you cover yourself with the quilt again? It's getting colder today. Be careful not to catch a cold. Si Wenqin carefully tucked in the quilt for her. A man who was all-powerful in the business world, when taking care of a woman, was very humble and gentle, just like an ordinary boyfriend. I'm not cold. Shi Shujing grabbed his hand and asked anxiously. How is your mother? How do you know? Si Wenqin frowned. Did Qin Baiyuan tell you? No, he didn't say that. How do you know that he came? Did you see him? You didn't fight with him, did you? No, I also have to choose my opponent. He is not worthy. Oh? It's not Qin Baiyuan who said it. It's Tang Tang who came and said it. Chapter 229. This was beyond Si Wenqin's expectations, but it was also within his expectations. Tang Tang was not a bad girl, but once a woman was jealous she could do anything. Regardless of who said it, is your mother all right? She's not too bad but not too good either. She broke a rib and her right leg is injured. Oh my God, she's so old. She must be in so much pain. Should I go see her? Let's talk about it later. Shi Shujing pursed her lips. Did your mother put pressure on you again? No. Don't lie to me. Tang Tang said that when your mother got into a car accident, it happened to be the same time, so your mother must think that you're only worried about me. I'm going to be a mother soon, and I can understand a mother's mentality. You already had a conflict with her because of me, and now this happened again, it's even more. Why don't I go and explain to her? She's in a fit of anger right now. She thinks that whatever you say or do is wrong. Why do you want to make things difficult for yourself? Si Wenqin held her hand. Even though he was under so much pressure, he didn't show any emotion in front of her and was still gentle. How can I bear to let you suffer? We'll talk about those things later. Right now the most important thing is your health and the baby's health. Under his tender gaze, Shi Shujing nodded meekly and subconsciously rubbed her stomach. He was right. Right now nothing was more important than the baby. No matter how many setbacks she encountered, she had to adjust her mentality and be in a good mood. Qin Baiyuan drove the car aimlessly on the streets for a while before returning to the Qin residence. Su Jixin was on the phone. When she saw him, she hurriedly hung up and greeted him. Why are you back? Why can't I come back? Qin Baiyuan's tone was very harsh. Who are you on the phone with? A friend of mine. I met him in school. Su Jixin played dumb. In fact, it was Tang Tang who called just now. She found out a very shocking piece of news regarding Mr. C's identity. She didn't expect that he was actually a member of the C family and also had a complicated relationship with the Qin family. On the phone, Tang Tang also taught Su Jixin some ways to please Qin Baiyuan. Next, they would have other arrangements. She had to ease the relationship with Qin Baiyuan first, so as not to arouse suspicion. Moreover, she was about to get married. She was afraid that something might happen, so she also wanted to calm down Qin Baiyuan. As he thought of this, a gentle and fawning smile appeared on his face. Have you eaten? No. I'll cook some noodles for you. No need. Qin Baiyuan was very resistant to her. Anyway, he hated everything she did. Don't be like that. Su Jixin hugged his arm and acted coquettishly. I know it was my fault at the hospital this afternoon. I'll apologize to you, all right? But you didn't give me any face in front of my friend. Should we just call it even? You don't know how pitiful I was. My eyes were red from crying. Qin Baiyuan looked coldly at Su Jixin. He didn't feel sorry for her at all. He only felt that she was very hateful and very hypocritical. However, the purpose of his return was to keep a close eye on her. On the other hand, if their relationship was better, she would hate Shi Shujing a little less. Perhaps she would restrain herself a little and not harm her. Because of this consideration, he nodded. Then sit first. I'll be quick. Turning around, both of their eyes revealed a strange look. They each had their own considerations and motives. A bowl of plain beef noodles exuded a tempting aroma, but Qin Baiyuan had no appetite at all. Hurry up and eat. It'll be cold in a while. Su Jixin attentively handed him the chopsticks and seasoning. You cooked it yourself? Yes. The chefs have all gone home. Besides me, who else could it be? I specially learned it for you. Qin Baiyuan knew that she was lying. A rich young lady like Su Jixin was used to being served by servants. She didn't even know how to wash the dishes. How could she possibly know how to cook noodles? She would never learn it. A woman who would lie for such a small matter was really disgusting to the extreme. He couldn't help but think of that night when he and Shi Shujing ate noodles together. At that time she was still his wife. At that time she had not fallen in love with Mr. C. At that time he could still get her back. However, he still drove her away with those bad attitudes. The noodles she cooked were really delicious. She was so virtuous, gentle, and real. However, for a whole 3 years he did not give her any chance at all. He always imagined her to be extremely bad. In the end he could only regret it. If only there was medicine for regret in the world. Hurry up and eat. What are you thinking about? Seeing that he was lost in thought and that there was tenderness hidden in his eyes, he was most likely thinking about Shi Shujing. Su Jixin was so jealous that she was sour, but she had to endure it. Her current goal was to win his heart. Quarreling with him because of that bitch was the most stupid thing to do. Thinking back, didn't Shi Shujing pretend to be gentle and pitiful to slowly occupy his heart? If that bitch could do it, she could do it too. Qin Baiyuan ate a mouthful of noodles. It was bland, as if he had lost his sense of taste. Is it delicious? Then I'll often cook for you in the future, okay? Su Jixin covered his wrist and stammered. I know it's wrong of me to threaten you, but that's because I love you too much. When we were together for more than a year, didn't we always get along well? I believe we will in the future. Can you give me a chance to mend my ways? I promise you I'll be a good wife and a good mother. Su Jixin's words were half true and half false. She really loved Qin Baiyuan and didn't want to be a vicious woman who hurt people. It was very tiring. If he was willing to love her, she was willing to give up all hatred for him. And Qin Baiyuan forced himself to ease up with her in order to stabilize her emotions and for the safety of Shi Shujing. Okay. Great, by the way, I tried on a few wedding dresses before. Which one is better? Su Jixin couldn't wait to raise the phone in front of him. Which one? Qin Baiyuan looked at the screen, but his mind was full of Shi Shujing, so he pointed casually. This one. But that was the one Su Jixin didn't like the most, and it was really not as good as the other ones. At first glance, she knew that he was perfunctory. In her heart, there was a burst of unhappiness, but she just held it back and didn't burst out. She smiled. It's the most important thing if you like it. Then this one. Qin Baiyuan slept in the guest room. When he took a shower, he remembered that Shi Shujing said he was not in a good state, so he shaved his head and beard in front of the mirror. As soon as he came out of the bathroom, Su Jixin sat on the sofa with a towel and brought it to him. Su Jixin's eyes lit up with amazement as she looked at the new man in front of her. They had been quarreling recently and Qin Baiyuan was very sloppy. She had almost forgotten how handsome this man was. At this moment he was naked from the waist up. His body was strong and beautiful, and the lines of young muscles were so beautiful that she was tempted by him. Why aren't you sleeping? I want to sleep with you, Su Jixin said coquettishly. Let me help you dry your hair. No, it's very late. Go to sleep. Qin Baiyuan took the towel and wiped his hair, threw it aside, and then touched the cigarette box on the tea table. Don't smoke, okay? It's not good for your body and it's not good for the baby. Then go back to your room. I want to sleep with you tonight. Qin Baiyuan ignored her. He put the cigarette in his mouth and lit it. His posture as he smoked was elegant and languid. His eyes were slightly narrowed, and his arrogant and languid appearance made him look like a licentious and unruly noble. His entire body exuded a strong sense of attraction. Smoking was not a good habit, but Qin Baiyuan who smoked was too fatal. Like a poppy he firmly attracted Su Jixin, making her mouth dry. When he flicked the cigarette with his slender fingers, she felt as if he was flicking on her heart, making her heart tremble, and her soul was captivated. He walked forward, hugged her from behind and put his face on his back. I love you so much love. To Qin Baiyuan these words were really ironic. Well, oh, if she loved him she wouldn't have threatened him with the photos, and wouldn't have done so many disgusting things. Let's start over, okay? Qin Baiyuan opened his mouth slightly, and slowly exhaled a mouthful of smoke. The corner of his mouth was full of mockery and indifference. Go rest, I'm also very tired. I don't want to go, I want to be with you. Su Jixin's hand stroked his chest and she moved restlessly, but Qin Baiyuan pressed her hand down. Sleep. Don't. We haven't done it for a long time. Su Jixin kissed his strong back. She not only wanted to please him but also wanted it for herself. She had been dry for too long and at this moment her whole body was hot. Qin Baiyuan, you're pregnant? It's okay, after 3 months it's already stable and it's okay. I don't want to. Qin Baiyuan directly pried her hand away, and it was difficult to hide the disgust between his brows. That kind of emotion made Su Jixin feel very hurt. She had already taken the initiative to this extent, why was he still unwilling to have her? I'm going to sleep, you should rest too. With that, Qin Baiyuan put out the cigarette, brushed his teeth, went to bed and turned off the light. Su Jixin stood there alone and looked at him for a long time. She was so angry that she wanted to lift his quilt and fight with him. But in the end, she resisted and climbed into bed shamelessly. Qin Baiyuan, are you asleep? He turned his back to her and did not respond to her. His facial features were tightly knitted, and there was a kind of extreme annoyance. Although the two of them were lying on the same bed, they each had their own thoughts and the atmosphere was oppressive. After staring at each other for a long time, Qin Baiyuan fell asleep, but Su Jixin did not. When he was asleep, he unconsciously turned over to face her, and she silently stared at him under the moonlight. Sometimes, when she was extremely tired, she would also ask herself if it was really worth it to pester a man who hated her so much. But at this moment, looking at his face, that high nose bridge, that cold face, that slightly childish, slightly trembling eyelashes, she really could not let go. Chapter 230. Qin Baiyuan, I love you. She gently kissed his lips, carefully, afraid that he would find out. She pushed him away, pillowed on his chest, and listened to his breathing. Shi Shujing. Shi Shujing. Qin Baiyuan murmured uneasily as if he wanted to catch her. Su Jixin's face was livid. He was even thinking about that bitch in his dreams? Every time he called her, it was torturing her heart, stabbing countless knives into her heart. She grabbed the pillow tightly and picked it up. For a moment she wanted to suffocate him with the pillow. Her whole body was trembling. She touched the phone on the bedside table, walked to the balcony and made a call. As long as I can kill Shi Shujing, I will do anything you want. Sanatorium. Qin Yuning stood at the door, looking at Shi Aofeng lying on the bed. After a while he asked the nurse. How is he? Still the same. What did the doctor say? Is it possible for him to wake up? The nurse shook her head. It's been more than 10 years. I'm afraid he won't recover unless there's a miracle. But the meaning of a miracle was that it was almost impossible to happen. Qin Yuning nodded. In the past 10 years, the nurse who took care of Shi Aofeng had changed several times. Although it was arranged by the hospital, they were all in contact with him and would report the situation once a month. You can leave first. Don't let anyone in. Qin Yuning stuffed a paper bag with a check to her. Okay. The nurse took the money and left happily. If it wasn't for this, she wouldn't have done this tiring job. Qin Yuning stood by the bed and observed Shi Aofeng closely for a long time, as if to judge whether he was pretending or not. After a while he laughed at himself for being too suspicious. Even if it was to save his life, who would pretend to be a vegetable for more than 10 years? His body was not very good because of his illness. After standing for a while, he felt tired, so he sat down, put his legs on the bed, lit a cigarette and slowly puffed. I haven't been here for a long time. I'm old and my body is weak. I have all kinds of illnesses. Stomach cancer. I didn't expect to get such a serious illness. You would say this is retribution, right? However, I've been in the limelight for so many years. What about you? Lying there like a living dead was even more torturous. If you had a choice, you would rather die than do this, right? I can give you a quick death, but I don't want to. Torturing you like this is better than letting you die. Qin Yuning puffed out a ring of smoke. His shrewd and astute attitude made people think of the saying, the older, the wiser. Shi Shujing is indeed your daughter. She has your blood flowing in her. She's the same as you. You're both ungrateful wretches. I helped you so much in the past, but you stole my woman and even wanted to report me. Do you think you can defeat me? This Shi Shujing is the same. I treated her so well. I tried my best to make her marry my son. I let her eat well and dress well. But in the end she made my son wear a hat. Your Shi family is really cruel and unscrupulous. Qin Yuning smiled sinisterly. If it wasn't for Zi Zhuang, would she be worthy of entering our Qin family? Dream on. I've been a springboard for you once, but I won't be a springboard for your daughter again. I definitely can't swallow this. His eyes were full of schemes. Your daughter made my son suffer, so don't even think about having a good life. Just wait and see, she will definitely regret it. After thinking about it, Shi Shujing still decided to visit Yang Yizhou. Even if it was a move that would invite a snub, as long as there was a chance, she still wanted to fight for it. Walking to the door of the ward, Yang Yizhou was secretly wiping away her tears. Auntie. Hearing her voice, Yang Yizhou hurriedly wiped away her tears. Her emotions suddenly became agitated. What are you doing here? I'm here to visit you. Visit? What a nice way to put it. You're here to see how miserable I am. Hypocrite. Hypocrite. Yang Yizhou got angry the moment she saw her. No matter how bad the words were, it was not enough to scold her. I don't want to see you. Get lost. She pointed at the door angrily. You're not in good health right now. Don't be angry. Didn't you come to provoke me? I didn't. I'm just worried about you. I'm very sorry about the car accident, but I want you to know that Wenqin really loves you as his mother. So, there must be some misunderstanding. He can't leave you alone. Enough, don't I know what's going on? You're pretending to be a good person. If you really don't want to anger me to death, you should have left Wenqin a long time ago. I'm sorry I can't do it. I love Wenqin very much and I'm pregnant. There was a trace of anticipation in Shi Shujing's eyes. They were both women. No matter how much she hated her, she wouldn't hate the child too, right? But she didn't know Yang Yizhou well. She had a strong character, and with Tang Tang fanning the flames, she became very ruthless. Are you trying to use this to force me to accept you? No, I just hope that you can do it for the sake of the child. What child? We don't even know if the child in your stomach is Wenqin's or not. You're such a promiscuous woman. If you can betray your marriage, it's hard to guarantee that you won't fool around with other men while dating Wenqin. Even if it's not Qin Baiyuan's, it might be another man's. Shi Shujing didn't expect her words to be so harsh. Her face turned pale, but she didn't feel guilty. The child is Wenqin's. I can swear or prove it in other ways. No need. Whether it's Wenqin's or not, I won't admit it. Just because there's a dirty mother, the child is dirty too. How can you say such a thing, child? Don't call me child. I said I won't admit it. Yang Yizhou's attitude was firm and very heartless. After shouting for a while, she probably felt thirsty. She reached out to the teacup on the cabinet, but it was not convenient for her to move, so she couldn't reach it. Seeing this, Shi Shujing took the initiative to take it and held it to her with both hands. As a result, Yang Yizhou grabbed the teacup and splashed it on her face. The tea was still a little hot and Shi Shujing screamed. Ah! Her face was full of tea leaves and water falling down along her face. Even if I die, don't think about being with my son. Mom, what are you doing? Si Wenqin rushed up, snatched the cup from Yang Yizhou's hand, and hurriedly wiped the tea off Shi Shujing's face. How are you? I'm fine. Shi Shujing's face was red. Fortunately, she wasn't scalded. But what happened just now was too sudden, and she didn't have time to close her eyes. Some tea splashed into her eyes and it was a little painful. Mom, how can you do such a thing? Si Wenqin was very shocked. From a young age, in his memory, Yang Yizhou had always been a woman with manners. Even if she said some unpleasant words when she was angry, it was not to the extent of hitting her. How was she different from those shrews in the market? What did I do? It's good enough that I didn't beat her to death. I finally understand. What visit? It's all her plot. She calculated the time and knew that you would come at this time. So, she deliberately directed this good show and then pretended to be pitiful. Shi Shujing, you are really scheming. Shi Shujing mumbled. She couldn't defend herself. She had already determined that she was guilty, and any more explanation was unnecessary. You misunderstood her. She thought that I had left and secretly came to see you. Yang Yizhou was disappointed and pained. You're so smart. How could you be blinded by her little tricks? She pointed at Shi Shujing. This woman clearly wants to drive a wedge between us. Don't be fooled by her. Shi Shujing is not that kind of woman. On the contrary, what you did made my heart ache. I've emphasized many times that I love her, and she is pregnant with my child. If you care about me, your son, you wouldn't have splashed her with hot water just now. Yang Yizhou frowned. Are you blaming me? Yes. I won't allow anyone to hurt her, including you. Yang Yizhou was infuriated. Then what do you want? Cut off relations with me? Si Wenqin clenched his fists. His face was gloomy. He couldn't cut off relations with Shi Shujing, but he couldn't bear to see Shi Shujing get hurt. If the woman in front of him wasn't his mother, he would have taken her life long ago. Seeing the two of them quarreling over her, Shi Shujing regretted it. She shouldn't have come here. The situation was the complete opposite of what she had expected. She hurriedly pulled Si Wenqin back. Wenqin, stop quarreling. Let's go. Let's go. Auntie, I'm sorry. Go. If you leave, I'll take it that I never had your son. Yang Yizhou shouted. She was so angry that tears rolled down her cheeks. Tang Tang came in and saw Yang Yizhou crying so hard that she was out of breath. He quickly pretended to be very nervous. Auntie, what's wrong? Wenqin. Because of that woman, he quarreled with me. He wants to cut off relations with me. That's impossible, right? Why not? Yang Yizhou was crying so hard that she was panting. That woman schemed against me. She deliberately put on a pitiful act. Wenqin hates me to death now. I originally thought that Shi Shujing was just a promiscuous person. I didn't expect her to be so vicious. If she continues to stay by Wenqin's side, she will only bring harm to him. We have to think of a way to get rid of her. What way? Tang Tang hesitated for a moment and said, "It seems that no matter how you persuade him, Wenchen won't listen. If that's the case, we can only use some forceful methods. Why don't we get his father to do it? He will definitely have a better way." "You want me to beg him?" "Not beg. You just need to tell him that Shi Shujing is pregnant. He will naturally think of a way to get rid of the child." Tang Tang was following Si Lan's instructions to instigate Yang Yizhou. This was because if Si Lan were to say it, Si Wenchen might be suspicious when he found out about it in the future. Therefore it was most suitable for Yang Yizhou to say the news. Yang Yizhou wiped her tears hard. "Give me the phone." Si Wenchen used a towel to wipe Shi Shujing's face a few times and slowly got the tea water out of her eyes. Only then did he heave a sigh of relief. Because his heart ached too much, he couldn't help but scold her with a stern face. "Didn't I tell you not to look for my mother? I just wanted to help you explain. I didn't expect things to turn out like this. Wenchen, I'm sorry. Don't blame me, okay? I won't disobey you in the future." Shi Shujing admitted her mistake obediently like a child. She called Si Wenchen so he couldn't bear to blame her. Chapter 231. I'm fine. It's not boiling water. I just need to wipe it dry. I'm just worried that it will aggravate the conflict between you and your mother. She is already injured. She gets angry. Do you want to go back and see her? Forget it. If I go back, I will only quarrel with her. Si Wenchen sighed and cupped her face. Do you know how worried I am about you? Yes. I'm sorry. How about you go to Wuxia City to rest for a while? Go to Wuxia City? Shi Shujing shook her head. No, I don't want to leave you. I'll go with you. I'm not going. Are you worried about the company? No. I don't want to escape. Although I'm with you now, I don't think I've done anything wrong. Since I haven't done anything wrong, I don't want to run away with our child. I want to stay in Flozhen City and give birth to our child in broad daylight. Shi Shujing looked at him firmly. She used to be a weak person, but after having a child, she became stronger. She didn't want to be a deserter. Seeing her so strong, Si Wenchen felt even more distressed. Because her strength reflected his incompetence in another way. If he was good enough, she would suffer less. She was his woman. He wanted to spoil her to be unruly, willful, lawless, and do whatever she wanted. Not like now, for their happiness, she had to wear a hard armor to fight and protect herself. He would feel useless. Although these emotions were not written on Si Wenchen's face, Shi Shujing could see it clearly. She didn't know when she started to understand him so well. Wenchen, you don't have to feel sorry for me and you don't have to feel guilty. You don't know how lucky I am to meet you. Compared to these, the difficulties in front of me are not hard at all, because my heart is very open now. I haven't let anyone down. If others oppose us, it's because they don't understand what kind of people you and I are. If they understand, I think our love will be blessed. It doesn't matter if they don't understand it now. Ever since Su Jixin caused a ruckus in the hospital, the relationship between Qin Baiyuan and Qin Yuning had fallen to a freezing point. Qin Baiyuan had gone to the hospital a few times, but Qin Yuning had refused to see him. So, after receiving his call, Qin Baiyuan had immediately rushed to the hospital. He had even bought a basket of fruits downstairs. Qin Yuning still had resentment towards Qin Baiyuan, but blood was thicker than water. He definitely couldn't really hate his son. He could only blame him for not living up to his expectations. Looking at him, he seemed to have matured a little. The sharpness between his eyebrows had also been ground down a lot. The anger in his heart was slightly reduced. Everyone had a time when they were young and frivolous, including himself. They had done more and more excessive things. Those past events were a kind of training. It was good for Qin Baiyuan to grow up. Dad. Qin Yuning raised his eyelids, his face gloomy. Dad, aren't you angry with me anymore? I can't be bothered to be angry with you. Qin Yuning rolled his eyes. If I were to really be angry with you, I would be angered to death. Oh, then don't be angry. Otherwise, I won't have a father anymore. Qin Baiyuan joked. Qin Yuning wanted to beat his chest. Have you forgiven me? Otherwise, why are you looking for me? Let me ask you, are you really going to marry that Su Jixin? Yes. If you say you like her, I definitely won't believe it. You won't compromise just for the sake of that child. Does she have something on you? Is she threatening you? Tell me, I have a way to help you. No. Qin Baiyuan shook his head. If Qin Yuning knew that Su Jixin had a photo of his mother's betrayal, wouldn't he be angered to death? We'll get married in 2 days. Don't worry about it. Do you think I want to care? Qin Yuning snorted heavily. However, it didn't matter what it was. In any case, the wedding couldn't be held. Su Zhixin dared to provoke him. She brought about her own destruction. She couldn't blame him. A hint of viciousness and coldness flashed in his eyes. Why are you looking for me? Shi Shujing, how are you going to compensate me? Hearing that name, the expression of Qin Baiyuan, who had been indifferent before, changed slightly. What do you mean by compensation? You've been married for 3 years. Now that you're divorced, haven't you thought of giving her some compensation? To Qin Baiyuan, these words were full of sarcasm. She's now with Mr. C as she wished. He loves her so much and is richer than me. What compensation can I give her? How Mr. C treats her is his business, but as a man, you can't let Shi Shujing spend 3 years on you in vain. In the end, you let her down, so you have to give her this compensation. Qin Yuning's tone was one of conviction. Yes, I let her down, but what ability do I have to give her compensation? What can I give her? She returned all the shares I gave her before, so I'm thinking, should I give her 10% of the shares? She won't want it. She's already divorced, so she doesn't want to have anything to do with the Qin family. Qin Baiyuan answered with certainty. What if it's 10 million? Dad? Do you think Shi Shujing will be short of 10 million now that she's with Mr. C? It's her business whether she's short of it or not, but this is a token of our Qin family's appreciation for her. Qin Yuning took out the check that he had prepared. Give it to her for me. I can help you pass it on, but I'm sure that she won't accept it. As for when to give it to her, I'll see. Give it to her before the wedding, lest that Su Zhixin finds out and makes a fuss. Okay. Qin Baiyuan understood Shi Shujing's character, so she definitely wouldn't accept this 10 million. He would be doing nothing. The reason why he agreed was probably because he subconsciously wanted to take this opportunity to see her more. However, he never expected that the check in his hand would cause so much trouble. Shi Shujing was discharged from the hospital. As soon as he returned home, he immediately threw himself onto the bed with open arms and sighed happily. Ah, it's so comfortable. These days in the hospital, I miss this bed at home the most. It's so soft, the quilt is so fragrant. The pillow is also so soft. Si Wenchen put down his luggage and watched her swim around happily like a fish returning to the sea. His eyebrows were also tinged with a smile. The bed in the VIP ward of the hospital is not comfortable enough? No matter how comfortable it is, it's still a hospital. It's definitely not as comfortable as at home. Shi Shujing closed her eyes and sighed. She felt as if she was lying in a pile of cotton. It was so comfortable that she didn't want to get up. She was a person with a love affair, and Si Wenchen was very demanding. The quality of the bed was very good and extremely comfortable. How could the hospital compare to it? But, I miss you so much. Shi Shujing tossed and turned on the bed. She was wearing a skirt inside, and the hem of the skirt was lifted up, revealing her snow-white thighs. Si Wenchen's throat itched when he saw it, and he began to lose control of his thoughts. He pulled off his tie and took a deep breath. He pressed his body on top of her, but he didn't completely press her down. With one hand on the side of her head, he supported all his strength and looked at her passionately. His eyes were sparkling. Although it had been a long time, Shi Shujing was very familiar with it. She immediately realized what he wanted to do, and her face turned red. Why don't you continue to flip? You're pressing on me. How can I flip? The corner of Si Wenchen's mouth hooked up into a smile. He held one of her hands and brought it to his mouth. At first, he only kissed the back of her hand gently, but he slowly put her fingers into his mouth. The heat on her fingertips burned Shi Shujing, and she panicked and wanted to withdraw her hand. I want to take a bath. There's no hurry? Si Wenchen's smile was a bit evil. He stared at the beauty under him with a smile that was not a smile. Her face was slightly pink because of nervousness. The corner of her mouth was slightly opened and she was panting. She exhaled a fragrant breath, which was very attractive. When you were in the hospital, other than the bed at home, what else did you miss? Didn't you miss me? Didn't you accompany me every day? They were together day and night, so why did she need to think about it? Then do you only miss this bed, or are you thinking about the memories on the bed? You? What nonsense are you talking about? I didn't think about it. You didn't think about it? Si Wenchen had an expression as if he knew that she didn't mean it. He playfully teased his cute little prey and kissed her ear. You didn't think about it, but I missed it very much. I missed everything about you. He said passionately, and at the same time, he lowered his head to kiss her. The passionate kiss melted Shi Shujing, and she couldn't help but wrap her arms around his neck. But when his large hands started to move restlessly, she immediately pressed against his muscular chest. Don't. I'm pregnant, I know. Si Wenshin's eyes were already very red, and he was gasping for hot air. You're pregnant and you smell even more pregnant. He was kissing her earlobe. It's only been a month now. You have to wait for 3 months to stabilize. Otherwise you'll hurt the child. But baby, I've already endured it for half a month. Do you have the heart to continue torturing me? Si Wenshin frowned and his face was bitter. He looked very pitiful. Do you know how much I miss you? Even if you don't say it, I'm sure you miss me very much. Shi Shujing swallowed a mouthful of saliva. For the sake of the child, she felt that it was better not to take risks. I'll be gentle, it's okay. You relieve me of the pain first and then we'll slowly reduce the frequency, okay? Si Wenshin coaxed Shi Shujing, and her whole body melted like water. Then I'll take a bath first. I haven't done it for a long time. Let's do something exciting tonight. He suggested with great interest. Shi Shujing was embarrassed by the question, but she still nodded her head obediently. Which one do you want me to wear? Good baby, you know what I'm thinking? Si Wenshin rubbed her nose intimately. This little fox was really smart. I won't wear the uniform today. Let's have a change and wear my shirt. Okay. Chapter 232. Si Wenshin unbuttoned his shirt with one hand, revealing his muscular upper body. He strode over, picked her up, and threw her on the bed excitedly. He kissed her slowly, teased her slowly, and sank into her. The night was beautiful. The next morning, the sun shone on the entire bed. Shi Shujing woke up from her sweet dream and stretched lazily. It had been a long time since she had slept so well. Her whole body felt indescribably comfortable. She rubbed her eyes and slowly opened them. A handsome face immediately came into view. Under the sunlight, Si Wenshin revealed a kind of pure sexiness. There was some new stubble on his chin which was breathtaking. A smile bloomed on Shi Shujing's face and her eyes narrowed. Morning. Morning, baby. Si Wenshin's eyes were full of affection as he kissed her lips. In the beginning, Shi Shujing would be shy, afraid that she would look ugly in the morning, afraid that her face would be too dirty and so on. But after living together for so long, she was already very used to it. She could show her ugliest and worst side in front of him without any scruples, and she didn't have to worry that he would dislike her because of it. She was full of security. What time is it? 10 o'clock. Oh, it's so late. Although Shi Shujing said so, she didn't intend to get up and still looked lazy. Are you hungry? I'll go make breakfast. Shi Shujing touched her stomach. I don't seem hungry. Of course I fed you so well last night, how could I be hungry? Hey, you're making this kind of joke again? So annoying. Shi Shujing waved her fist and hit him coquettishly, but her little fist was wrapped in Si Wenshin's palm and kissed lightly. His stubble pricked her, a little painful, a little itchy, and a little numb. I'll go make a sandwich for baby, okay? I don't want to eat a sandwich. I want to eat plain porridge with some vegetables and a boiled egg. Okay. If you want to eat something, even if it's the stars in the sky, I'll pluck them for you. Si Wenshin kissed her forehead and got up reluctantly. He made breakfast and let Shi Shujing sit on his lap. He took the spoon and fed her mouthful by mouthful. Before he knew it, he had finished a big bowl of porridge. Originally, Shi Shujing thought that there was nothing to do and planned to go back to sleep with him. However, Si Wenshin received a call from the company saying that there was an important meeting to be held. Shi Shujing hurriedly urged him to go. He had already put on his suit, but he was still very reluctant. How about I hold a video conference at home? If it were possible, the secretary wouldn't keep calling you over. You've spent too much time and energy on me recently. You didn't even go to the company. You can't be like this. I'm worried about you staying home alone. What's there to worry about? I'm in my own house. How could I get lost? Shi Shujing was all smiles, looking completely like an obedient wife. Well, don't dawdle. Go and come back quickly. I'll wait for you to come back. Okay. I'll come back to feed you before 5 o'clock. This feed had another meaning. Most pregnant women were sleepy. Shi Shujing read for a while and soon fell asleep. She was woken up by a text message. She looked at it in a daze and found it was a text message from Qin Baiyuan, asking her to have dinner together. Shi Shujing was too sleepy, so she didn't reply him immediately. She didn't get up until 4 o'clock and called Si Wenshin. He said that he was ready to come back, but the secretary's voice came through the phone, saying that there was an important meeting in the evening. Si Wenshan replied that she should postpone it. Wenshan, Shi Shujing hurriedly called him. You'd better come back after the meeting. Don't delay your work for me. What about your dinner? I'll ask someone to send it back for you. No need, I'll ask a friend to have dinner together. Which friend? Just as Shi Shujing was about to say that it was Qin Baiyuan, the secretary reminded him. Boss Mu is already waiting for you in the conference room. I'll go first. I'll call you later. Okay. Work hard and don't worry about me. After hanging up the phone, Shi Shujing hesitated for a while before replying to Qin Baiyuan's invitation. At around 5 o'clock, Qin Baiyuan called Shi Shujing and said that in order to avoid being visited by the crowd or being photographed by the reporters, he had made an appointment with the VIP box that he often entertained. Shi Shujing remembered that hotel. Qin Baiyuan was a crafty person, but he especially liked the dishes in that restaurant, so he would go there every time he entertained clients. Qin Yuning had asked him to take her there twice. It was the weekend and it was time for dinner. The lobby was bustling with people. Shi Shujing walked quickly with her head down. When she entered the private room, she raised her head and heaved a sigh of relief. The beautiful waiter knew her and also knew that she and Qin Baiyuan had divorced, so her eyes unconsciously became a little more inquisitive. She secretly chose to eat with her ex-husband here. Could it be that she wanted to rekindle her old love? She really wanted to take a picture and sell it to the reporters, but she didn't have the guts. Mrs. Qin, the beautiful waiter quickly changed her words. Miss Shi, what would you like to drink? Just give me a glass of plain water. Okay. The beautiful waiter went for a while and came back with water and coconuts. President Qin said that he still has something to do and will be here in half an hour. I ordered coconut chicken soup for you first and asked you to drink it while waiting for him. Shi Shujing didn't expect Qin Baiyuan to have such a considerate side. But thinking back when she first returned to the Shi family, Qin Baiyuan treated her very well and was a very good brother. Later, when he began to hate her, his attitude changed. So she almost forgot that Qin Baiyuan was a typical person who was arrogant on the surface but soft on the inside. He was quite considerate. The smell of coconut chicken was very fragrant. Plus, Shi Shujing didn't have lunch at noon, so she brought it over to drink. The fragrance was strong and spread between her lips and teeth. The chicken was also very fresh and tender. No wonder Qin Baiyuan had a special liking for the dishes here. At the entrance of the lobby, two women walked in. Su Jixin and Tang Tang made an appointment to have dinner together to discuss how to deal with Shi Shujing. However, as soon as they entered the lobby and saw so many people, Tang Tang immediately frowned in annoyance. Why did you bring me to such a shabby place? It's so noisy. How is this shabby? 5-star product. I don't know where these damn nouveau riche come from. They have dragged down the quality of this place. Su Jixin covered his face with a pair of big sunglasses. He was also very unhappy. She called the manager over and questioned him arrogantly. Isn't this a 5-star product? How can you let any Tom, Dick or Harry in? Sorry, it's the weekend and there are indeed more people. The manager nodded and bowed. Give me a private room. The private rooms are all full. Doesn't my husband have a special private room here that is only open to him? Your husband? Su Jixin took off his sunglasses and glared at him fiercely. You don't know me? I'm Mrs. Qin. Oh, it's you? But President Qin's private room is reserved today. He's entertaining clients here? Well, the manager wanted to say something but stopped. He couldn't stand Su Jixin's arrogance. It seemed that she didn't treat the service staff as human beings. So, he deliberately kept her in suspense to provoke her. Say it if you have something to say. You'd better ask President Qin yourself. What the hell? If you don't say it, I'll tear down your restaurant. President Qin has a guest, but it's not a client. It's his ex-wife Miss Shi. Su Jixin's face darkened when her guess was confirmed. Seducing my husband again? Then she cursed and wanted to fight with Shi Shujing, but Tang Tang grabbed her. What are you doing? Let go? I'll kill that vixen. Tang Tang dragged her aside and said in a low voice. Why are you in such a hurry? Catching them in the act? If you go in now they'll just be chatting. Can you catch them in the act? Not even chatting. Su Jixin stomped her feet in anger as if she wanted to skin Shi Shujing alive. You're too impatient. Even if you want to make a scene you have to have solid evidence first. Otherwise, Qin Baiyuan will deny it and say you're narrow-minded. Then what should I do? Do I just watch them in there? Don't worry. Leave it to me. Tang Tang comforted her with a few words and walked back to the manager with a very gentle smile. I apologize for Jishin's bad attitude just now. You have to entertain so many customers every day in the catering industry. It must be hard for you. I have a friend who has the same position as you. She often complains to me that her job is tiring and her salary is very low. I think it's not easy for you. How about this? Do me a favor and I'll give you a little subsidy. The manager hesitated until Tang Tang gave him a check for 100,000 yuan and then nodded. Okay. When Shi Shujing finished a bowl of soup, Qin Baiyuan arrived, sweating profusely. Why are you in such a hurry? She handed him a tissue. I'm afraid you'll have to wait for a long time. Qin Baiyuan sat down and was still panting. It took a while for him to recover and look at the coconut. Finished the soup? Yes. Good girl. Qin Baiyuan touched her head, but immediately realized that this intimate action was too inappropriate, so he withdrew his hand. Sorry, it's okay. Shi Shujing shook his head. In fact, explaining these things would only make the situation more awkward. Moreover, when facing him now, her heart was very open and calm, as if they were just old acquaintances, and there was a sense of intimacy. Have you ordered? Not yet, waiting for you to order. Qin Baiyuan directly called the waiter and ordered a few light dishes. Hurry up and serve the dishes. Shi Shujing was a little strange. You like this restaurant, don't you think it's because of the chili dishes here? Why is the taste so light all of a sudden? You are a pregnant woman, so you take charge. Qin Baiyuan said very naturally. I'm fine now. I'm not so picky. Eating something spicy will make me more hungry. Thus, Qin Baiyuan added another dish to go with the rice. By the way, this is for you. He handed her a stack of documents. Shi Shujing turned 2 pages which were all precautions for pregnant women, including diet, daily life and so on. It was very detailed. I remembered it this morning but I was too busy and forgot it. I only remembered it when I left the company so I went back to do it. That's why I'm late. Qin Baiyuan habitually wanted to smoke so he took out the cigarette box. When he just took out a cigarette he thought of something and put it back. Chapter 233. Thank you. Qin Baiyuan twitched the corner of his mouth. You must think I'm meddlesome in your heart, right? Mr. C is so good to you. I'm meddlesome. Not at all. It's never too much to care about. That's good. Regardless of whether she needed it or not, Qin Baiyuan just wanted to do something for her. It wasn't just to make up for the past. He couldn't help but want to care for her. He wanted to do the things that he didn't have time to do in the past, from the most minute details of their lives. Now he still wanted to do it. You will be a good father. I'm just good to the people I care about. Qin Baiyuan looked into her eyes and said seriously. The emotion in his eyes had a heaviness that Shi Shujing couldn't bear. She turned her face away subconsciously. In the past she always thought that Qin Baiyuan wanted to save her, just out of unwillingness, but now she couldn't continue to think that way. The situation suddenly became embarrassing. At this time, the waiter began to serve the dishes, and Shi Shujing said hurriedly, "Let's eat." They hadn't eaten together for a long time, and Qin Baiyuan hadn't had a good meal in a while. Now that she was around, his appetite was very good and he ate 2 bowls in a row. You also eat more, drink more soup, pregnant women need more nourishment. I've just drunk a bowl of soup and I can't eat any more. You have to eat even if you can't. You're eating for the baby in your belly now. You can't be willful. He had to eat even if he couldn't eat. What was the reason? It was he who was willful. In the lobby, Su Jishin was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot, and she was uncomfortable for a moment. Tang Tang looked at her like this and felt funny. This Su Jishin was too impulsive and stupid, but this was also good because she was brainless so she was easier to control. As soon as the manager came over, Su Jishin immediately asked anxiously. What are they doing? They've just been served and they're eating. Did they drink? No. Chairman Qin ordered quite a few soups. Su Jishin is extremely angry. She is pregnant, but she does not see Qin Baiyuan to nourish her body. He is so caring for that bitch. How can she not hate him? Tang Tang said. What's the point of being angry? Well, first, only when you're full will you have the strength to catch the adulterers. See if I don't skin that bitch alive. Shi Shujing's belly was full and she really couldn't eat any more. Qin Baiyuan didn't force her anymore. By the way, why did you ask me out? Dad told me to give this to you. Shi Shujing took the envelope. It was a check for 10 million yuan. Why did Dad give me this? He said that I wasted 3 years of your time, and this is your compensation. Shi Shujing felt very guilty. I've done something wrong to him. You should hate me. This makes me feel even worse. You're a good woman. I didn't cherish you. It's only right that Dad dotes on you. I can't accept it. Just accept it. You know Dad's character. If you don't accept it, he will feel uncomfortable. All these years, he has always treated you as his own daughter. Just treat it as his dowry for you. Shi Shujing finally accepted it. Thank him for me. I'll visit him another day. Okay. The meal was eaten and the check was given. There seemed to be no reason to keep her. However, Qin Baiyuan is very reluctant and can't say the word leave. Why do I feel a little dizzy? Do you feel uncomfortable? I'll take you to the hospital. No, you just help me to sit on the sofa for a while. Qin Baiyuan directly carried Shi Shujing to the sofa. Are you still dizzy? Do you want to throw up? Did you eat something bad? No, I just feel dizzy. Shi Shujing felt that the strength in her body was draining away bit by bit. She felt dizzy, but there was a constant flow of heat from her limbs to her heart. Her body became so hot, so strange. Qin Baiyuan. I feel hot. How can you feel hot on such a cold day? Qin Baiyuan touched her forehead. You don't have a fever. Why don't you take off your coat first? Shi Shujing took off her coat, but she still felt hot all over. It was as if she was being roasted on a fire, and the heat made her uncomfortable. I feel hot. Her whole body was hot as if there was a layer of fine goosebumps. It's so hot. She held his cold hand tightly, refusing to let go, and put it close to her face. Qin Baiyuan was burned by her body temperature. After all, he was a man and his body couldn't help but feel something. But looking at her, it didn't seem like she had a fever. Could it be, I feel hot, so hot? Qin Baiyuan, save me? Shi Shujing subconsciously leaned on him and hugged him tightly. Shi Shujing, don't be like this. Calm down. You might have been drugged. I'll send you to the hospital now. I don't want to. Save me, it's hot. Wenshin. I'm so hot. The person in front of her became Si Wenshin. Shi Shujing's eyes were glistening with tears and she begged pitifully. Wenshin, save me, I'm not him. Look clearly. She was as soft as a puddle of water, and Qin Baiyuan couldn't carry her. The moment he touched her, she would hang on him like a koala. He struggled with the urge in his body. I'll send you to the hospital. I don't want to go. Wenshin. I want to be with you, don't leave me. Shi Shujing hugged his body and refused to let go. She was so strong that Qin Baiyuan was pulled to the sofa by her, and the two of them were stuck together. Bang! Su Jixin barged in. When he saw the scene of a woman getting on top of a man, his already rising anger exploded. During the hour of waiting, Su Jixin suffered. Although she was mentally prepared to catch them in the act, when she rushed in and saw the adulterous couple, entangled on the sofa, she still flew into a rage. In an instant she exploded like a bomb. She rushed to pull Qin Baiyuan away and violently pulled Shi Shujing. Stop! Qin Baiyuan pulled her away, but she was still kicking and hitting him with her hands and feet. Let me go. I want to kill this bitch. Shameless vixen bitch. Let me go. You're not a good thing either. I warned you so many times, but you still dared to be entangled with her. Didn't you say that there was nothing between you two and that I was narrow-minded? Then what am I looking at now? Do you still want to argue? The scream hurt Qin Baiyuan's ears, and he wished he could poison her to make her mute. Shut up. She was drugged. Su Jixin glared at Shi Shujing fiercely. Her face was flushed and her collar was pulled open. She looked extremely slutty and her eyes were misty. What drug? She's faking it. She's seducing you. Are you an idiot? You were deceived by her just like that. After Qin Baiyuan calmed down for a few seconds, he thought, how could there be such a coincidence? I was caught by Su Jixin. Must be a trap set by her. He grabbed her neck and his fingers were stuck to her throat. You designed this? You drugged her? Su Jixin did not expect that Qin Baiyuan would be so shameless to make a false accusation. She was so angry that her eyes turned red. It's obviously you who are shameless. Can't you see that she was pretending? Do you think everyone is as vicious as you? You're the bitch. The two of them were arguing fiercely. Coupled with the shock from Su Jixin's tugging, Shi Shujing's body heat was slowly receding. She was becoming more and more clear-headed. What was happening in front of her made her panic. What are you doing? What's wrong with me? You're still pretending? Shi Shujing, you're really smart to use this trick to seduce my husband. Shameless. Pui. Su Jixin spat at her, but Shi Shujing dodged it. Stop it. Qin Baiyuan grabbed Su Jixin with one hand and pulled her away. he asked Shi Shujing nervously. Are you okay now? Looking at her eyes, it seemed that she was gradually regaining consciousness. Are you still uncomfortable? Shi Shujing shook her head, and it seemed that her head was no longer dizzy. Go to Manager Li and ask him to send you back. Tell him that it's my order. Shi Shujing looked at the crazy Su Zhixian and nodded. You're not allowed to go, bitch. I'm going to kill you. Su Zhixian was still screaming and cursing when she was pushed to the ground by Qin Baiyuan. Are you done? I caught you betraying me and you still have the face to be fierce to me? There's nothing between me and her. She was drugged. Qin Baiyuan roared at her fiercely. His mind was a mess. Looking at Su Zhixian's appearance, it didn't seem like she had drugged him. Could it be? No, he didn't even dare to think about it. Just that guess alone was enough to shock him to the point that he didn't know what to do. Do you think I'm a fool? Would I believe your lousy excuse? I think you're colluding with each other to put on a show. You better watch your mouth. In his rage, Qin Baiyuan's face was also very scary. She and I are innocent. Don't insult her. But I just like her. Don't think that I will look at you. After saying that, he left her in a fit of rage. Tang Tang stood at the door and watched all this secretly. Seeing Qin Baiyuan coming out, he quickly hid to the side and watched him leave before entering the box. Su Zhixian sat on the ground, crying and cursing. Go and get me a knife. Why do you need a knife? Tang Tang looked down at the crazy Su Zhixian with a bit of ridicule in his eyes. Are you going to commit suicide? I'm not going to commit suicide. I'm going to kill that bitch. I've had enough of this kind of life. I'm not going to get married. Su Zhixian cried and shouted. I don't want anything. I just want to stab her to death with a knife and die with her. If that was the case, Tang Tang would immediately stab her with a knife. Unfortunately, Su Zhixian was a very timid woman. She only shouted and did not dare to kill. I'm not going to get married. I can't stand it anymore. Did you see them with your own eyes? Why not? The two of them were on the sofa and Qin Baiyuan was still holding her. It was an obvious fact. He even argued that Shi Shujing was drugged. Tang Tang frowned. Drugged? Chapter 234. He doesn't love me at all and I don't care about him anymore. I won't get married. I'll send the photos out now. I'll make him regret it for the rest of his life. As Su Zhixian spoke, she took out her phone but Tang Tang snatched it away. Calm down. It's not like you don't know that Qin Baiyuan has been bewitched by her. It's not a big deal. Is there a need to fight to the death? But I have no other choice. I love him but he doesn't love me. He knows that I have a child but he still pushed me to the ground. He doesn't care about my life at all. What can I do? After all, Su Zhixian was a woman and a pregnant woman at that. Once she was emotional, she didn't care about anything else. She had to make a scene. If Shi Shujing is still alive, Qin Baiyuan really can't love you, but as long as she is dead, Qin Baiyuan will definitely change his mind. Believe me, Shi Shujing will definitely die in our hands in the end. Tang Tang narrowed his eyes cruelly. Death was too easy for her. He wanted her to suffer and live a life worse than death. Qin Baiyuan didn't catch up with Shi Shujing. On the way, he made a phone call to confirm that she had safely returned home, and then went straight to the hospital. Dad, Qin Yuning was playing chess with someone. He made a shushing gesture at him. Qin Baiyuan stood at the door, so anxious that he looked like he was constipated. After thinking for a while, Qin Yuning made a move. He defeated his opponent with one move, and his opponent admitted defeat. Haha, you're too powerful. I've played chess for decades but I've never met a match. Today I've fallen into your hands. Qin Yuning's eyes were deep. Chess was about layout. From the first step he had already set up an inescapable net. In the middle he seemed to be in danger several times, but it was all under his control. He was a far-sighted and extremely calm person. This was the case in chess and it was the same in reality. After he left, Qin Baiyuan closed the door and hurriedly said, Shi Shujing was drugged, Wang Yao said. When did it happen? Just now, when I asked her out to dinner and gave her the check. Qin Yuning looked up. Then, you guys? Of course not. Do I have to be such a bastard? Besides, she was pregnant and I pushed her away. Oh, Qin Yuning replied with some regret. How is she now? Fortunately, the effect of the medicine is not very strong. It will subside after a while. Then why are you looking for me? Qin Yuning asked directly when he saw Qin Baiyuan hesitating to speak. You suspect that I did it? I don't want to think that way, but you asked me to give her the check. At first, Qin Baiyuan also felt that it was strange. Why did Qin Yuning suddenly want to give her a check? Even if he wanted to make it up to her, it shouldn't be like this. However, he didn't think too much about it. I asked you to give her the check, but if someone wanted to harm you, they would have definitely investigated your whereabouts and seized this opportunity to make a move. Why do you think I did it? You've seen how I've treated Shi Shujing all these years. Do you think I would harm her? Qin Baiyuan was silent. Indeed, Qin Yuning had always loved Shi Shujing like a daughter. He treated her 1,000 times better than his son. If he was pretending, he wouldn't have pretended for so long. He sighed. Dad, I'm not doubting you. I might have been too anxious. I was afraid that someone would harm her. She was the one who was pregnant, and I was also very nervous. It's a good thing that you care about Shi Shujing, but you're a man. You have to keep your composure at all times. Don't make a ruckus over such a small matter. If you even suspect your own family, how can you accomplish anything great? I can die at any time, so I can't always protect you. In the future, you have to rely on yourself. You have to mature. Hearing this, Qin Baiyuan's heart ached. Don't say that, it will definitely get better. I hope so too, but who can fight against fate? Everything is arranged by the heavens. Qin Yuning looked as if he was indifferent to life and death. You have to remember one thing. I'm your father. Everything I do is for your own good. Whether you think it's right or wrong, it's all for you. Qin Baiyuan nodded. I know. He shouldn't have suspected anything, but in the deepest part of his heart, there was still a little bit. It was hard to get rid of his worries. When Shi Shujing returned home, she took a shower and recalled what had happened just now. She remembered that her body was very hot for no reason, but she was a little unconscious, so she didn't remember it very clearly and was in a daze. The sound of the door opening interrupted her thoughts, and she hurriedly went up to welcome him. You're back. Huh? Have you eaten? After a day of meetings, Si Wenchen was still in high spirits. He walked over and kissed her forehead with a gentle look in his eyes. I've eaten. Which friend did you eat with? Qin Baiyuan. Oh, don't misunderstand. He said he had something to do with me, so I went over. We just had a meal, nothing much. Don't be nervous. I didn't say I doubted you. Si Wenchen was very magnanimous. I'm a little jealous, but I believe you. Why did he look for you? Dad asked him to pass me a check. It's 10 million yuan. He said it's my compensation. That's it? What's wrong? Si Wenchen didn't say anything, but he still had some doubts in his heart. Qin Yuning gave him the feeling that he was a very scheming old fox. His kindness to Shi Shujing was not just because he liked her. There was probably an unknown conspiracy behind it. For example, Shi Aofeng suddenly became a vegetable. His intuition told him that it was related to Shi Aofeng. Speaking of what happened at night, Shi Shujing thought of the strange heat in her body and couldn't help but be absent-minded. What are you thinking about? Nothing. Si Wenchen held her face in his hands. Tell me, don't hide it from me. It's really nothing. It's just that when we were eating, Su Jishin suddenly barged in. She didn't do anything to you, did she? No. With Qin Baiyuan around, she can't do anything even if she wants to. Shi Shujing subconsciously avoided his probing eyes. Go take a shower first. Si Wenchen's eyes darkened. Something must have happened tonight. He had to find out. Although she had made a big fuss the night before and refused to get married, Su Jishin was still reluctant. Firstly, she loved Qin Baiyuan very much, and secondly, her stomach was getting bigger day by day. Even if she didn't think for herself, she had to think for the child. She didn't want him to be born without a father, so she continued to arrange the wedding the next day. There were only 2 days left. She thought, no matter how torturous it was, she had to grit her teeth and endure it. After a busy day at the wedding company, Su Jishin was in a very bad mood. She didn't want to go home so early, so she walked alone on the road to relax. As he walked, his skirt was suddenly grabbed by someone. He looked down and saw that it was a dirty little beggar with a broken arm. However, Su Jishin did not have the slightest bit of pity. When he saw that his skirt was dirty, he immediately screamed and pushed the beggar hard. What are you doing? Stinky beggar, so dirty. The little beggar got up from the ground. Sister, give me some money, sister. Su Jishin felt unlucky. She kept patting her skirt but couldn't get it clean. It was so disgusting. Go away. I'm annoyed. You did it on purpose, didn't you? Find someone else, don't bother me. Sister, give me some money, I'm starving. What does it have to do with me that you're starving to death? You're a cripple, so it's meaningless to live. Just die early. Su Jishin pushed him to the ground fiercely and cursed him viciously. Seeing this scene, passers-by stopped to criticize her. How can you be so ruthless? You're even so fierce to a child? It's none of your business. If you're so kind, why don't you adopt this stinky beggar? Do you have the right to tell me what to do? Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Su Jixin squeezed out of the crowd, feeling even more irritated. She went to the bar with two of her friends. Mrs. Qin, you're getting married the day after tomorrow. How can you have time to come to the bar if you don't accompany President Qin? Her best friend teased her. Su Jixin was very upset, but she didn't drink. Instead, she kept complaining. Really? That bitch is so shameless? I told you if you don't have some skills, how can you hook up with Mr. C? You should learn from her so that you can hook up with President Qin. Pfft. I have to learn from that bitch? Then I'll be as cheap as she is. Su Jixin snorted disdainfully. You can't help it. Men are always fascinated by those green tea bitches. If you want to hold his heart, you have to do what he likes. Otherwise, if President Qin goes back on his words, you'll end up as an orphan and a widow. Su Jixin's face turned green, and her eyes emitted a vicious light. What did you say? Her best friend smiled and changed her words. I was joking. But Su Jixin was not going to let it go. Since when did you have the right to joke about me and him? Shut up if you don't know how to talk. Annoying. She grabbed her bag and left. Her two best friends didn't dare to chase after her. Su Jixin left the bar alone and walked to the back alley. She felt nauseous. She leaned against the wall and retched, but nothing came out. She couldn't help but complain about her stomach. Even you can't stop. You and your dad are torturing me. It seemed that the whole world was against her. Everything was not going her way. Why was life so difficult? She was so upset that she didn't realize that danger was approaching. A hand patted her on the back, which scared Su Jixin. She turned around and saw an old man. What are you doing? Go away. She pushed him out of instinct. Are you not feeling well? It's none of your business. Su Jixin saw the desire in his eyes. She wanted to run away, but the man kept stopping her. Get out of my way. Otherwise I'll scream. Scream all you want. Everyone is playing in there. Who can hear you scream? His gaze, which harbored ill intentions, lingered on her body repeatedly. Beauty, since you're here to play, let's have some fun. Get lost. Don't touch me. Su Jixin dodged left and right. She took out her phone to make a call, but the man snatched it away and forced her into a corner. Chapter 235. No one will come to save you even if you scream till your throat breaks. Be good. You'll like it. The man was very strong. He pressed Su Jixin onto the ground and tore her clothes. She could clearly hear the sound of clothes being torn. The places that were touched by that dirty hand seemed to have countless disgusting worms crawling. Let go. Let go of me, Su Jixin pleaded. Help. I'm pregnant. Don't touch me, child. Child. She struggled with all her might. It's better if you're pregnant, I like it more. Help. Let go. I beg you. The man suddenly stopped moving and stood up. Su Jixin supported her broken body and sat up. Tears streamed down her cheeks. A pair of long legs appeared in her tearful eyes. She looked over and saw a man in a suit standing in front of her. He was quite tall and his face was cold, like a relief sculpture in the dark night. His whole body emitted a murderous aura, like Satan from hell, breathtaking. The man smiled at her flatteringly and walked away. It's you, Su Jixin said hatefully with tears in her eyes. Si Wenqin, you're so ruthless. Are you still a man when you treat a woman like this? Si Wenqin looked at her coldly. The corners of his eyes were shrouded with disdain. His lips were thin and he spoke in a cold voice. If I was ruthless enough, you wouldn't be like this now. He would make those who bullied Shi Shujing's women pay the price. If not for the fact that Su Jixin was pregnant, he wouldn't have stopped just now. Moreover, you're so vicious. Are you still a woman? You, Su Jixin hated him, but at the same time she was very afraid of him. She tightened her clothes and trembled uneasily. What are you trying to do? Did you just call me Si Wenqin? You know who I am. Su Jixin lowered her head guiltily. You misheard. I called you Mr. C. Si Wenqin strode over and grabbed her chin. His cold eyes emitted a dark blue light, and the temperature of his fingers was as cold as ice. Still playing dumb? When did you start colluding with Tang Tang? He had investigated and found out that she had gone to the hotel with Tang Tang last night. Su Jixin bit her lips. They had already bribed the manager with money, but he still betrayed them. Su Jixin could hear the sound of her bones cracking. Her face was pale and her lips were trembling. Don't tell me. Don't tell me that I need to ask for your opinion on who I make friends with? It's none of my business who you're meeting with, but if you're discussing how to harm Shi Shujing, I'll make sure you die a horrible death. Are you warning me? I'm telling you, I'm not afraid of you. Su Zhixin resisted stubbornly, but her trembling had revealed her true emotions. Really? Are you sure you're not afraid? Si Wenxin smiled coldly. His snow-white teeth looked like the white fangs of a beast under the light. It doesn't matter if you die, but do you want the baby in your belly to be buried with you? Qin Baiyuan definitely won't care. He will even be grateful to me for solving this problem for me. If you have anything to say, come at me. Don't hurt my child. If you're worried about him, you won't be so reckless as to hurt my woman. What did you do to her? Si Wenxin asked. His fingers tightened, and her whole face was forced to tilt up, revealing her teeth. What did I do to her? Why don't you ask what shameless things she did? Yesterday, I saw her hugging Qin Baiyuan with my own eyes. If you dare to slander her again, I'll let you know what it means to live a life worse than death. I'm not slandering her. I swear they were hugging each other. You and Qin Baiyuan are the idiots. You've been deceived by her appearance. She's a two-faced woman. She's two-timing. I can't believe you two trusted her so much. She took the initiative to seduce Qin Baiyuan, but he actually defended her. He said that someone drugged her and even framed me. Su Zhixin was infuriated when he thought of that. Were these two men idiots? They were played by a bitch, but they still trusted her wholeheartedly. Drugged. Si Wenxin frowned, and Su Zhixin screamed at the same time. It hurts. Let go. You said she was drugged? I don't know. That might be Qin Baiyuan's excuse. Su Zhixin cried in pain. He said it, I don't believe it. Qin Yuning had asked Qin Baiyuan to give the check to Shi Shujing. Could it be that this was a trap set up by Qin Yuning? If that was the case, then the next one to suffer would be Qin Yuning. Si Wenxin fiercely threw Su Zhixin to the ground and made a phone call. Go back to the hotel immediately and investigate another matter. After he finished the call, his cold gaze shot over again. Su Zhixin immediately cowered in fear and took 2 steps back. I'm sparing you this one last time for the sake of the child in your stomach. If there's a next time, not only you, but the entire Su family will be buried with you. Every word entered Su Zhixin's ears, revealing a deep sense of fear from the depths of her bones. When Shi Shujing woke up and didn't see Si Wenxin, she was immediately surrounded by a sense of loneliness. After meeting Qin Baiyuan, she felt very uneasy for no reason. She felt flustered and insecure, so she subconsciously hugged her body. Hearing the sound of footsteps, she ran out of the room. Wenxin, you're back. Seeing that she was barefoot, Si Wenxin quickly carried her in a princess carry. She took the opportunity to wrap her arms around his neck. It's cold, why aren't you wearing shoes? I was anxious to see you. Si Wenxin kissed her forehead and put her on the bed. What's wrong? I had a nightmare. When I woke up and saw that you weren't here, I was very scared. Her hands and feet were cold. Silly girl. Where did you go? Something happened at the company. Si Wenxin played it down. He didn't want her to know that he went to see Su Zhixin. She was too kind. If she knew that he went to deal with another woman for her, he would feel guilty. Oh, you should have woken me up. I can go with you. Although I'm pregnant, I can still go out. When you're not here, I miss you so much. Shi Shujing said coquettishly. Seeing that his smile was a little forced and his face was also tight, she touched his face worriedly. What's wrong with you? What happened? Facing those concerned eyes, Si Wenxin's heart was warm and touched. For many years he had been used to fighting alone, and was also used to facing all difficulties alone. However, the concern from the person he loved still made him feel very happy. He patted her head and replied, No. You're lying to me. Your eyes betrayed you. We're the closest people to each other now. If you have any problems, be it good or bad, you should tell me. Even if I can't help you, I can still listen to you. Si Wenxin smiled. Because they were the closest people, he didn't want to tell her his troubles, just like how she didn't want to tell him that she was drugged. At first, he felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. He felt that she shouldn't hide it from him. But thinking about it from another perspective, he couldn't be completely honest with her. Whether it was good or bad, the original intention was because of love. Don't frown, okay? I'm so worried. What's the matter? Tell me. No, I've never tried to love someone so much, to the extent that I'm afraid of it. Even I have times when I worry about gains and losses. Too many things have happened recently. There are too many people eyeing you. I'm afraid that I can't protect you at all times. I'm afraid that something will happen to you. Shujing, you're more important than my life. I can't bear the possibility of losing you. It will make me very painful. I understand how you feel. I feel the same way about my feelings for our baby. Shujing touched her lower abdomen. It was as if he could clearly feel another life growing in her body. He could feel his blood and breath. Because I love you too much, I'm very afraid. I'm not afraid of myself getting hurt. I'm afraid that the baby will get hurt. I'm afraid that if something happens to me, you'll be very sad. So, I'll work harder to take care of myself. Don't worry about me too much, okay? Maybe I'm not that strong, but I'm not as weak as you think. Okay. To have a woman like this was the greatest gift that God had given to Si Wenxin in this life. He had never wanted to have anything in the past and he didn't care to have it. But she and the baby were things that he couldn't lose once he had them. The two quietly hugged for a long time until Shujing's stomach made a goo-goo sound. She stuck out her tongue awkwardly. You didn't eat dinner? Didn't I heat it up for you and put it in the pot? There's also soup. Why don't you eat it? There was a slight reproach in his tone, but it was full of concern. Shujing hugged his arm and acted like a spoiled child. I can't eat when you're not here. It's called eating when two people eat together. It's just called filling the stomach when eating alone. She was so reasonable. Si Wenxin pinched her nose. Then I'll eat a little more with you. Okay. I'll go wash my hands first. Seeing her happily skipping to the bathroom, Si Wenxin's heart was mixed with two complicated emotions. One was happy and the other was heavy. Because he knew that she wasn't relaxed. She just acted as if nothing had happened to make him happy. This relationship might be very hard for them, but he couldn't let go even if he died. The wedding was held as scheduled. Because Qin Baiyuan insisted on not going to the church or even picking up the bride, everything was arranged in the hotel. Su Zhixin sat in the hotel room, letting the stylist put on her wedding dress and makeup. Everyone was busy, but as the bride, she was like a bystander. Chapter 236. Qin Baiyuan came in. He had changed into a tuxedo. He looked handsome, but he looked unhappy as if he had been tied up. Even his breathing was not smooth. Are you done? He asked irritably as if it was a trouble that needed to be solved. Su Zhixin was angry when she heard his tone. Can't you see that I haven't put on makeup? It's just a formality. Why is it so troublesome? He said it so easily. It was just a formality. He didn't think about what a wedding meant to a woman, especially a rich lady like her. She had been looking forward to a dreamy and grand wedding since she was a child. But now she couldn't wait to sell herself at a low price. Qin Baiyuan, how could he rely on the fact that she loved him to trample on her dignity so unscrupulously? She gritted her teeth and said bitterly, Don't think that I will forgive you for your shameless things just because I married you. After we get married, I will settle it with you slowly. Qin Baiyuan rolled his eyes and said sarcastically, Don't hurt yourself. A marriage with the mentality of settling accounts won't have a good ending. I didn't ask you to marry me. If I wasn't pregnant, do you think I would marry you? You're selfish. If you really think about the child in your belly, you shouldn't have let him be born into such a family. The mother threatened the father with photos and the father treated him as a cancer. Do you think he will be happy when he is born? This shadow will accompany him for a lifetime. Instead of this, it is better not to be born. Compared to him and Shujing, these words made Su Zhixin feel more uncomfortable. As a mother, she couldn't stand his heartlessness to the baby. Suddenly, her eyes turned red. The reason why you can say this is because you don't love him at all, because the child is not in your belly. But don't forget that your blood flows in his body. Enough, don't say that, Qin Baiyuan interrupted her impatiently. We haven't registered our marriage yet. It's not too late to cancel the wedding now. I want you to think about it carefully. There is nothing to think about. Su Zhixin insisted on being angry with him and wiped away her tears. From the moment we met more than a year ago, I never intended to let go. Loving you is one thing, but you hurt me. Even if I die, I will drag you to hell with me. In this lifetime, I will fight you to the end. Because Su Zhixin had been the one in charge of the wedding, Qin Baiyuan had ignored him. That was why he had been shocked by the grandeur of the wedding. The wedding was very luxurious, and they had invited nearly 100 tables. Almost all the important people in Flozhen City were present. There were many people. Qin Baiyuan's face turned blue. Why are there so many people? Don't you know? Oh, when I was discussing the details of the wedding with you, you completely ignored me. Of course you didn't know. I want everyone to see with their own eyes that I am your wife, Qin Baiyuan. My wedding, Su Jishen, must be grand. The combination of a handsome man and a beautiful woman was pleasing to the eyes. The guests could not deny that the two looked very compatible, like a pair of golden boy and jade girl. But the atmosphere was very strange. No matter how you looked at it, it was very awkward, like two stiff puppets. Su Jishin had been smiling all the time, but it gave people the feeling that she was forcing herself to smile. Qin Baiyuan was even more so. The unhappiness was written all over his face. He did not look like he was attending a wedding, but more like he was attending a funeral. The atmosphere was too strange. The MC tried hard to adjust the atmosphere. Next, let's invite our newlyweds to come up and chat with everyone. I believe the guests are very curious about one question, that is, President Qin, what is the difference between your wedding this time and your first wedding? Qin Baiyuan's face froze. Su Jishin was also surprised. This question was different from the one given to her by the wedding planner. Moreover, this MC was not the one she had met before. President Qin, don't be unhappy. I'm just curious. After all, not many people have the experience of a second marriage, so I want to ask you how you feel. Oh, I remember President Qin's first marriage was a secret one. There was no wedding. I wonder if the former Mrs. Qin divorced you because of this reason? Qin Baiyuan cursed and was about to go up and beat him, but he was stopped by Su Jishin. Today is a good day for marriage. President Qin, don't be so petty. How can a man be so narrow-minded? But I can understand. After all, it was the former Mrs. Qin who betrayed you. You are definitely unhappy because of this. It's okay. With your status, you can have any woman you want. Isn't the current Mrs. Qin a good substitute? The whole audience was laughing. Su Jishin was also stung by the word, substitute. He kept giving him a look to tell him to shut up, but the host was like a madman. One after another, he asked embarrassing questions. The whole audience was boiling. Okay. I won't ask any more. Otherwise, Mr. and Mrs. Qin will find someone to beat me up. Now let's enjoy their wedding photos and share their sweetness. The wedding photos were played on the screen. Qin Baiyuan gave the MC the middle finger, hinting that he would be punished later. However, just when the atmosphere relaxed, the screen suddenly changed and the photos turned into a video. In a room, Shi Shujing held Qin Baiyuan's hand and begged him with misty eyes. The two were hugging each other. Then Su Jishin rushed in and made a scene. She even hit Shi Shujing. There was no sound, but it was obviously an adultery scene. The audience was in an uproar. How did it turn out like this? That day, someone installed a camera in the room. Qin Baiyuan was stunned for a few seconds before he came back to his senses and shouted for the MC to turn it off. However, the video kept playing until the end. The guests watched a good show and whispered to each other, full of mockery for Su Jishin. She had invited so many people in hopes of gaining recognition, but she didn't expect to land herself in a predicament and become a clown to be laughed at. She still wants to get married after her husband betrayed her. She has a strong psychological endurance. I can tell from the news that day that President Qin still likes Shi Shujing. Aren't you a meddler? Meddlers don't have a good ending. Is it that easy to be Mrs. Qin? This is retribution. How could she have the face to hold a wedding? All kinds of unbearable remarks drilled into Su Jishin's ears and tortured her. The romantic and dreamy scene seemed to have turned into a terrifying dragon's den. She was so nervous that she threw away the bouquet and ran off the stage. There was no light in the study, only a bit of light from the phone screen. Si Wenchen saw the farce at the wedding clearly. In the darkness, his slightly frowning eyebrows became tighter and tighter. In the end, it was as gloomy as an approaching storm. He knew that the old man was sinister, but he didn't expect him to be so sinister that he even tricked his own son. He was really ruthless. After turning off the video, Si Wenchen dialed a number. Have you found that person? Not yet. It's been 2 days. Is this how you do things? His questioning tone was filled with deep displeasure. I'm sorry, Boss C. We've tried our best to find that person. He might have sneaked into Thailand. It's not easy to find him. Please give me a little more time, as soon as possible. Si Wenchen hung up the phone. He knew very well who did it, but he didn't have evidence. The light suddenly turned on. His eyes couldn't adjust to the light. Si Wenchen felt it was very dazzling and narrowed his eyes slightly. Why didn't you turn on the lights? Shi Shujing walked in. She had just taken a shower and her hair was still wet. Si Wenchen pulled her to sit on his lap. She was very light. Wearing pink pajamas, she looked like a cute doll. Sitting on his lap, she was very light. She was already pregnant, but she was still so light. Si Wenchen felt a little distressed and secretly vowed to fatten her up. He took the towel from her hand and dried her hair. You seem to have a lot on your mind these days. I asked you, but you didn't answer. I'm very worried about you. I don't want you to keep everything in your heart and bear it yourself. No, haven't I always been like this? I'm a man. So what if you're a man? Men are also flesh and blood. They also need people to care and comfort them. Shi Shujing wrapped her arms around his neck and said seriously, I want to share your burden. It's enough for you to stay by my side. Leave the rest to me. Don't worry, okay? Shi Shujing nodded obediently. She wholeheartedly believed in his ability. Perhaps she really shouldn't be worried about those things because it was useless for her to worry. Instead of looking for trouble, it was better to relax. It was also better for the baby's health. It's getting late. You should go to sleep first. What about you? I still have some things to deal with. Then I'll accompany you. I can't sleep without you by my side. Shi Shujing clung to him like a koala. In the past, she was very attached to him, and even more so after she was pregnant. Even if they were in the same house, as long as they were not in the same room and could not see him with her own eyes, she would still feel insecure. Can't sleep? What kind of can't sleep? Si Wenchen pinched her chin very gently. His fingertips caressed her skin, and his eyes were burning with a hint of frivolity. Is it the kind that can't sleep because you're very hungry? Shi Shujing immediately understood what he meant and pouted coquettishly. You are so annoying. The little pregnant woman who was acting coquettishly became more and more charming. Her black and soft hair was scattered over her shoulders, and her V-neck pajamas revealed her fair and smooth skin. The beautiful scenery in front of him made Si Wenchen temporarily forget his worries and indulge in it. The bursts of fragrance tempted his nerves, and he couldn't help but press down. He kissed her collarbone and slowly kissed down. Shi Shujing raised her head, and her fingers nervously grabbed his shirt, trying to push him away. Don't be like this. Didn't you say that you would reduce the frequency in the future? Last night already? It was only 3 times last night. Isn't that reducing the frequency? Baby, you're too charming. It's not enough no matter how many times I do it. Si Wenchen kissed her heart and murmured, as if he was saying sweet nothings to her heart. Shi Shujing's whole body was numb. She wanted to push him away, but she couldn't muster the strength. Subconsciously, it seemed that she didn't want to really push him away. Chapter 237. When it was all over, she collapsed in his arms like a lazy kitten, breathing in and out with her pink lips. Si Wenchen carried her back to the room and gently placed her on the bed. Shi Shujing hugged the pillow and soon fell asleep. He sat by the bed and looked at her quietly for a long time. His face was sometimes dangerous and sometimes tender. The corners of his lips were tightly pursed, and there was a look of determination. Qin Baiyuan left behind a few hundred guests and drove straight to the hospital. He sped along the way very quickly. He looked as if he was going to fight someone to the death. The doctors and nurses in the corridor were so frightened by him that they avoided him. He kicked open the door and a loud bang resounded. The old man who was playing chess inside was so scared that he dropped his chess pieces, but Qin Yuning only raised his eyebrows unhappily. Get out! Qin Baiyuan roared at the old man and he immediately ran away. What do you mean by this? Is it proper for you to be so reckless? Haven't I taught you manners? Of course, Qin Yuning knew why Qin Baiyuan was here, but he just calmly put down his chess piece and twitched the corner of his mouth. At this time, isn't your wedding not over yet? What? Are you here to invite me over? Did you ask someone to play that video? Although it was a question, his tone was affirmative. Qin Baiyuan took another step forward and clenched his fists tightly. You were the one who asked someone to drug me. You were the one who recorded the video and arranged for someone to play it at the wedding. Nonsense. I don't know what you're talking about. Qin Yuning stood up. His body seemed to be a little weak. He coughed twice, picked up the teacup and took 2 sips of tea. Didn't I already tell you that I wasn't the one who dropped the drug? You're still quibbling? Qin Baiyuan's eyes were burning. That day I heard you call to smuggle someone to Thailand. I secretly went to that place and found him. Do you think he really left? If it weren't for me, he would have been taken away by Si Wenchen's men. He admitted that you were the one who made him drug Shi Shujing's soup. Qin Yuning did not expect that Qin Baiyuan would find out. However, since he could do it, he did not intend to deny it. That's right, it's me. He admitted it himself, which was a huge blow to Qin Baiyuan. Because he didn't know how to face this shocking fact, He held back and didn't question Qin Yuning. However, he didn't expect him to go even further. He had secretly filmed it and even played it at the wedding. How could you do this? Why not? Qin Yuning retorted with a confident look on his face. Isn't it because you're too weak that I'm doing this? If only you were a little more promising, would you still need me to worry about those trivial matters for you? You're bringing harm to Shi Shujing. You keep saying how much you love her, but how do you treat her in the end? When he said that, Qin Yuning became angry. I'm good to her, but what about her? When she betrayed me and insisted on a divorce, did she think about our past relationship? I don't need to be polite to an ingrate like her. I think you're ridiculous. She put on a hat for you, but you didn't think about how to take revenge on her. I helped you stand up for you, but you still came to blame me. What kind of logic is this? I don't need you to use such despicable methods to help me, Qin Baiyuan said with a pained heart. Ever since I was young, I've always treated you as a role model. In my heart, you've always been an upright person. However, I never thought that you would use such a despicable trick to hurt a woman. Qin Yuning rolled his eyes fiercely. If I was like what you said, do you think Blue Sky would be as big as it is today? In the end, I did so many things for you. I wanted Shi Shujing to return to your side, so I drugged her. I didn't expect you to not want it. You think you're a gentleman by doing that, but it's actually cowardly and stupid. How could I, Qin Yuning, have such a useless son like you? Moreover, didn't I help you solve the problem of Su Zhixian? Didn't you not want to marry her? After causing such a ruckus at the wedding, does she still have the face to marry you? Not only did Qin Yuning not feel that he had done anything wrong, but he was also pleased with himself for killing two birds with one stone. However, being targeted by his son in such a hostile manner, he still couldn't help but feel a stabbing pain in his heart. I've said it before, I don't know when I'll die. I just want to pave the way for you before I die. What do you like? I'll help you get it. Is that wrong? Qin Baiyuan sneered, his eyes flashing with tears. All this time you've always been so self-righteous. In the name of doing it for my own good, you've given it to me with your wishful thinking. However, you've never considered whether I want it or not, nor have you ever considered whether this will cause harm to others. I let Shi Shujing down first. Everything that happened today was caused by me. She didn't let me down, so you have no right to take revenge on her. Moreover, I love her very much. If you hurt her, you'll also hurt me. Even if you really succeeded in drugging her, do you think I'll have peace of mind for the rest of my life? She should have been your woman. So what if you touch her? Qin Yuning spoke with conviction. In this society, who talks about conscience with you? The victor is king. This is the law of survival. If you want it, then grab it at any cost. Otherwise, you're a complete loser. Qin Baiyuan felt that everything was absurd. He closed his eyes and the bitter smile on his lips was filled with bitterness. Yes, I'm useless. I'll never be able to achieve my goals by harming others like you. At least in terms of feelings, I can't do it. This matter ends here, but listen to me clearly. I don't need your good intentions. It's not your turn to interfere in my affairs in the future. Also, if you dare to hurt Shi Shujing again, don't blame me for not considering our father-son relationship. After saying this, Qin Baiyuan rushed out of the door. Qin Yuning was furious at first, but his anger slowly turned into heartache. He clutched his chest and sat down. There was a strong feeling of suffocation in his chest, as if someone was strangling his throat, making it hard for him to breathe. He slumped back on the sofa, like a fish that had been deprived of oxygen for a long time. He raised his head and gasped for breath as if he could die at any time. His face was getting paler and paler. The doctor rushed in and saw the situation and hurriedly tried to save him. At midnight, Shi Shujing was sleeping soundly, but Si Wenxian was awake. He sat on the balcony and looked at the phone on the table. The screen lit up and the phone vibrated. He immediately answered the call. Found him? Too late. He didn't go to Thailand. Instead, he snuck to Brunei. The surveillance camera didn't capture his face, but there was another person there, who personally escorted him to the boat. Oh, Co Qin. In the wee hours of the morning, Qin Baiyuan sped on the road. The wind whistled past his ears. Everything around him was moving backward at the speed of light. The roar of the engine stimulated his heart. Only this feeling of wandering on the edge of life and death could make him feel that he was still alive. His past with Shi Shujing and Qin Yuning's true colors constantly intertwined in his mind, tormenting him to the point of insanity. The two people he trusted the most, one betrayed him, and the other was completely different from the person he knew. Everything suddenly became so strange. He didn't know who he could trust anymore. Opposite him, a sports car was heading straight for him. Qin Baiyuan quickly turned the steering wheel and slammed on the brakes. His body suddenly fell forward. If he hadn't fastened his seat belt, he would have flown out. Qin Baiyuan was covered in cold sweat, and his face was as pale as paper. A tall figure got out of the car, clenched his fists and walked toward him. Qin Baiyuan also got out of the car, flustered and exasperated. "You're crazy? Do you want to kill both of us?" Si Wenchen didn't say a word. He directly grabbed Qin Baiyuan's collar with both hands and slammed his entire body against the car. He used so much force that he almost broke his ribs. "Where is that person? Who is it? I don't know what you're talking about." Qin Baiyuan shouted at him arrogantly, but his eyes revealed a trace of guilt. "Let go of me. I'll ask again, where is he?" The veins on Si Wenchen's forehead throbbed violently. He kept exerting force with both of his hands, almost to the point of breaking Qin Baiyuan's neck. "Let go, you're still pretending to be stupid. I thought you were a trustworthy person, so I let you protect Shi Shujing. In the end, you're not a good person either. The matter of drugging and the video of today's wedding, are you in cahoots with Qin Yuning, or are you covering up for him?" Qin Baiyuan's throat was stuck by Si Wenchen's finger bone, and it was very uncomfortable to choke. He mustered all his strength and used his body to push Si Wenchen away. Originally, his heart was already filled with anger. After being questioned like this, Qin Baiyuan was also angry and roared crazily. "Do you think I want to? If I had a choice, I wouldn't want to believe that my father would do such a thing. All along in my heart he has always been a respectable person. I don't know why he became like this." Si Wenchen sneered disdainfully. "He didn't become like this, but he took off his mask. You just can't accept it for a while. He did even more dirty things in the past. From now on, he would dig them out one by one and make him pay for his crimes. He keeps saying that it's for my own good, but I don't want it to be like that. I'm his son, but he actually schemed against me. I'm so disappointed in him." What Qin Baiyuan said, Si Wenchen felt the same way. This was because Sibo Hong was also a very strong person who did not hesitate to use despicable means to achieve his goal. The matter of him sending people to rape Shi Shujing had always been his nightmare. He didn't want to admit that he had such a father, but he couldn't drain every drop of blood in his body and break away from his relationship with him. It was precisely because of kinship, because of love, that he suffered and suffered unbearable pain. Since you already know what kind of person he is, you should hand that person over. I will naturally think of a way to deal with him. No? That's my father. No matter what he did wrong, I can't let you hurt him. Qin Baiyuan's attitude was firm. I don't care about the other things he did, even if he disregarded human life, but I can't let him hurt Shi Shujing. I must take revenge for this. Si Wenchen was aggressive. Chapter 238. Even if you kill me, I won't tell you. Consider it as me begging you, don't investigate any further. He has cancer and won't live for long. Isn't this retribution enough? Not enough. Si Wenchen's eyes were vicious and ruthless, flickering with a cruel cold light that could destroy everything. For what he has done, this kind of retribution is far from enough. Do you think you'll be fine just because you hid him? I will definitely find him. At that time you will also pay the price for your actions. With that he left, but Qin Baiyuan stopped him. Don't investigate anymore, just treat it as me begging you. Since it was related to Qin Yuning, Qin Baiyuan panicked and lowered his status to beg. His body is already like that, what else do you want? I promise he will stop. You're underestimating him too much. That kind of person will never stop. Get out of the way. I won't. If you want to take revenge, come at me. Even if you beat me to death today, I won't fight back. But I won't let you touch him. Even if you don't think for him, you have to think for Shi Shujing. To her, my father is closer to her than her own father. If she knew how my father treated her, how much pain would her heart ache? Because of this, she should be allowed to see his true colors. But don't forget, she's pregnant. Can she endure that kind of harm? She has very few relatives to begin with. How do you want her to accept such a cruel fact? Si Wenchen clenched his fists. It was undeniable that this was what he was most conflicted about. Even though he kept saying that he wanted to expose Qin Yuning's mask, he asked himself, did he really have the courage to speak to Shi Shujing? He didn't know. She was his weakness. He only wanted to do everything he could to protect her and not expose the ugly side of the person she loved to him. Seeing that he was moved, Qin Baiyuan continued to persuade him. If Shi Shujing knew about this, he would definitely be upset to death. Do you have the heart to see her cry? My father made a mistake because Shi Shujing's divorce was a big blow to him. I can promise you that I will stop him. Considering how well he treated Shi Shujing in the past, please let him go. Si Wenqin really wanted to refute that Qin Yuning's kindness to Shi Shujing had ulterior motives. However, it was meaningless to say this to Qin Baiyuan. No matter how vile Qin Baiyuan was, he was still a son. He could not bear to do so. However, when he thought of Qin Yuning's shameless behavior, his heart turned cold once again. Go back and tell him that I will dig out every single thing he did back then. Since he dared to make a move on Shi Shujing, then the war begins now. When Si Wenqin returned home, he thought that Shi Shujing had fallen asleep, but he found that the light in the room was still on. He quickly walked into the room and saw Shi Shujing's back facing him. She was holding her phone and looking at it. Her body was tense and she was still trembling. He immediately realized what it was. As he expected, she was watching the video of the wedding banquet. He immediately snatched the phone away. Who sent this to you? Shi Shujing seemed to be in a daze. After a few seconds he reacted and shook his head. I don't know either. It's an anonymous document. When she woke up, she found that he wasn't by her side. She couldn't fall asleep no matter what, so she could only play with her phone. Suddenly, someone sent her this video. Have you been unhappy because of this for the past 2 days? No matter how hard he tried to hide it, what happened couldn't be hidden, because there were too many people around her who wanted to harm her. This didn't mean that there were countless traps in front of her that she just had to avoid, but that there were thousands of soldiers lying in ambush in front of her, suddenly shooting arrows at her. He couldn't defend it all. I'm sorry that I hid it from you. Shi Shujing's reaction was very calm. He shook his head and comforted him. You don't have to say sorry. I know that you did it for my own good. You didn't want me to worry about those things. I was in a daze when I was drugged, so I wasn't sure if it really happened, so I didn't tell you. But, subconsciously, I also didn't want you to worry. So, I can understand what you're thinking. But, who on earth set me up? Don't think so much. Rest first. Shi Shujing held his hand. Do you know who it is? Am I right? Si Wenqin didn't say anything. His face was very tense. She was really just and kind. He really couldn't say the cruel truth. Tell me. Wenqin, it's Su Zhixian. You lied to me. I know her. She loves Qin Baiyuan very much. It's impossible for her to mess up her wedding banquet. Who is it? Si Wenqin closed his eyes. His heart was filled with contradictions. The 3 words Qin Yuning were at the tip of his tongue, but he couldn't say it out loud. In the end, he dejectedly chose to compromise for the time being. Tang Tang. It's her. Shi Shujing wasn't surprised at all. She didn't deny that Tang Tang was an outstanding woman. However, jealousy would turn a kind woman into a devil. She had long expected that Tang Tang would harm her, and his methods were extremely despicable. Then why didn't you tell me? Are you protecting her? His questioning tone carried a hint of dissatisfaction. I didn't. But you lied to me for her. Don't tell me you still have feelings for her? No. Then you shouldn't have lied to me. Shi Shujing suddenly felt a little agitated. Her identity as an ex-girlfriend was a little sensitive. She had always had a grudge against her. Now that such a thing had happened, the disgust she felt towards her was even more indescribable with words. Back then she was the one who wanted to break up with you. Now that you're with me, she's mentally unbalanced. She wants to go back and snatch you back. How could she be so shameless? In the past, when Shi Shujing heard that similar things had happened to her friends, she already felt very hateful. Now that it had happened to her, that kind of anger was simply indescribable with words. She couldn't snatch you back, so she came to harm me. Don't you think that's very shameless? Don't be angry. Si Wenqin comforted. There's no need to affect your emotions because of her. Your health is more important. I don't want to be angry either, but no matter who it was, they wouldn't be able to stand it. You must have been blind to like a woman like her in the past. She's at fault, but back then she didn't break up with me willingly. Actually, she's also very pitiful. Initially, Si Wenqin didn't want to say this, but he didn't expect Shi Shujing to be so emotional. Back then she got breast cancer and had it removed. She was afraid that I would despise her, so she left me. She was also under a lot of pressure. Shi Shujing fell silent for a moment. He frowned and his emotions were very complicated. Why are you telling me all this? That's her business. Even if I'm sick, I won't harm others. No matter what, my own suffering can't be used as a reason to harm others. I can't be so kind as to forgive her just because something like that happened to her. Everyone has a bottom line and she touched my bottom line. I really can't sympathize with her at all. Moreover, I don't like it when you protect her like this. It's as if I blame her because I'm evil. Shi Shujing's heart was filled with jealousy. Si Wenchen held the sad face in his hands. The corners of his eyes were filled with gentleness. You've misunderstood my intention. I'm not protecting her. I just want you to feel better when you hear about this. What do you mean? You want me to build my happiness on her suffering? Shi Shujing bit his lip. Isn't this a little too vicious? I hate her, but I don't want her to be so miserable. I feel so complicated. I don't know how to treat her. Your little brain is very simple. Since you can't think through such complicated things, don't think about it, okay? Si Wenchen touched her head. Whether it's good or bad, it's her problem. Don't worry about it. I won't trouble myself. Seeing that she's so pitiful, I'll forgive her this time. Shi Shujing said reluctantly. If there's a next time, I won't be so polite. Si Wenchen smiled. I'm very curious. What will you do if you don't be polite? What's with your eyes? Do you think I'm a soft persimmon who can only be bullied by others and can't be ruthless? Let me tell you, every woman has the potential to be vicious. Even a rabbit will bite when it's cornered, let alone a woman. Yes. You're ruthless. That's why there's a saying that one would rather offend someone than a woman. Si Wenchen joked for a while and then became serious again. However, your reaction surprised me. I didn't expect you to be so calm after watching that video. I thought you would be very anxious. That was in the past. Didn't I say that I'm twice as strong now? I was also framed by others. I didn't do anyone wrong. Anyway, after I got together with you, I've been identified as a bad woman who betrayed me. So what if I'm scolded more harshly? Those insults won't affect my life. The most important thing is your trust. Si Wenchen was very pleased. My silly girl, you've finally grown up. I'm going to be a mother soon. Can I not be more mature? I don't want to be like before, crying at the slightest thing and making you worry. But I still hope that all the harm will stay away from you. Si Wenchen pulled her into his arms and let out a long sigh. You can't imagine how worried I am. Now every day is like a war. My heart is hanging tight. He smiled bitterly. I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. Shi Shujing used her soft little hand to touch his heart and gently rubbed it. Is it uncomfortable here? I'll help you rub it and you won't feel uncomfortable anymore. I know you're worried about me, but don't be on tenterhooks all the time, okay? That's very tiring and I don't want to see you tired. Now it's just us. Relax a little. Okay. Si Wenchen gradually relaxed his tense body. He kissed the top of her head and kept murmuring sweet words of love. No matter how bad the day was, as long as he returned home and hugged her quietly like this, the noise, irritation, and fatigue in his heart would be soothed. It was like a ship sailing into a quiet harbor after a day of fighting in the wind and waves. His heart was very calm. When Si Lan returned home, the servant said that Sibo Hong was waiting for her. She entered the study and knocked on the door. Chapter 239. Sibo Hong did not even look at her and asked straightforwardly. Do you know about that woman's pregnancy? Is she pregnant? I've never heard of it. How long are you going to hide it from me? Sibo Hong banged his dragon-headed walking stick on the table. Do you really think that I don't know anything just because I'm at home? Yixiang called me and told me about it. I'm not telling you because I don't want you to worry about it. Then when are you going to tell me? Wait for that bastard to be born? Si Lan frowned as if she did not like what he said. That's Wenchen's child and also your grandson, not some bastard. Do you think I'll admit it? There's nothing you can do even if you don't admit it. Shi Shujing is already pregnant, how can he be aborted? Dad, since things have come to this, why don't you just accept her? Haven't you always wanted to have a grandchild? Shut up. Sibo Hong slammed the table hard. My grandchild must be born by a daughter-in-law that I approve of. Is that dirty and lowly woman worthy of carrying our Si family's flesh and blood? I, Sibo Hong, only have one son. You know how much I value him. Si Lan sneered in her heart. She knew, of course she knew. All these years, in his eyes, only Si Wenchen was important and she was just a tool that he used. All these years of hard work were just to pave the way for Si Wenchen. Once he became the CEO, she would lose her value and be kicked aside. But would she be willing to accept that fate? Obviously not. Si Lan's heart became even more ruthless. On the surface, she still pretended to help Si Wenchen and continued to persuade him. I only have this one younger brother. I'm doing this for his own good. I don't want you to turn against each other. If you really want to help him, then stand firmly on my side and help me think of a way to get rid of that child. Sibo Hong said fiercely. Not only that child, Shi Shujing must disappear too. Then what do you want? The corner of Sibo Hong's mouth revealed a sinister sneer. Doesn't she have a mother? I want to see which one is more important, the child or her mother. It was late autumn and the weather was getting colder and colder. It had been raining for a few days and it was rare to have a sunny day. Si Wenchen was afraid that Shi Shujing would be bored at home, so he suggested that they go home together to see her mother. Shi Shujing called Yan Zizhuang in advance. When he arrived, he didn't go home directly. Instead, he went to the market nearby to buy some vegetables. There were stalls selling fish and seafood and the ground was wet. Si Wenchen was afraid that Shi Shujing would fall, so he kept holding her. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, enjoying it. It's been a long time. Si Wenchen furrowed his brows. What is that smell? Stink? No. It's the taste of the human world. After I got together with you, I would always go to the supermarket to buy groceries. I don't even go to the market anymore. In the past, I would go home twice a week to accompany my mom to buy groceries and cook. Is that so? Then I'll go home twice a week with you to visit our mom. Shi Shujing grinned. You're not married yet. Don't take advantage of me. The hand around her waist tightened, and he gritted his teeth in her ear. You're mine and the baby is mine too. Where do you think you're going? Annoying. The vegetable sellers were obviously interested in the gossip of the rich and powerful. They secretly pointed at them, but Shi Shujing didn't care at all. She was as picky as before, buying a lot of vegetables and meat. When the two of them reached home, Shi Shujing pushed the door open and shouted. Mom, I'm home. Mom? Strange, why isn't my mom around? Maybe she went out to buy something. She just can't get out of bed. How can she walk around? You can't stand it after staying at home for a few days, and she has been bedridden for a few months. Now that she can finally walk, why don't you let her go out to get some fresh air? That's true. Then I'll cook first. She can eat when she comes back. As Shi Shujing said that, she rolled up her sleeves and started working. Si Wenchen helped her while reminding her to be careful. She worked quickly, but her movements were too big. He was really worried that she would fall. Are you sure you can cook? Why don't I do it and you can go rest? Shi Shujing let out a long sigh. Granny, see, you've already nagged me 700 to 800 times. Calluses are forming in my ears. I'm pregnant, but it's not to the extent where I can't even cook, okay? What's wrong? Si Wenchen hurriedly threw down the kitchen knife and grabbed her hand. The back of her hand was splashed with a few drops of oil. It was scalding red and it made his heart ache. I told you to be careful, but you didn't listen. Shi Shujing stuck out her tongue. It's unavoidable when cooking. It's fine, I'll just wash it with soap after cooking. Do you think I'll let you cook? Si Wenchen put on a straight face and turned off the fire. He grabbed her hand and put it under the tap to rinse while using soap to wipe the red spots. Looking at his worried expression and his attentive look, Shi Shujing felt a tinge of sweetness in her heart. A man's love wasn't necessarily reflected in some earth-shattering pledge of love. The most insignificant details in life were the true embodiment of love. He loved her body more than he cherished his own. This man really doted on her to the bone. Compared to this meticulous care, what were the rumors and slanders she had endured and the external harm she had suffered? Go rest, I'll do it. But didn't you want to see my mom? It's not good to smell like oil, right? So what if it smells like oil? Si Wenchen didn't mind. Don't you know that this world looks at faces? Shi Shujing was amused. You're so smug. But she still cupped his face and kissed him hard. Then I'll leave it to you. Come on. She turned on the TV, put her legs on the coffee table and watched the TV leisurely. Occasionally, she glanced at the busy figure of the man in the kitchen and felt that there was nothing more blissful than this. In the past, she had always thought that cooking was a woman's job, and that men absolutely couldn't enter the kitchen. No man liked to cook, especially a successful man who was used to being served by women at home. However, he had completely subverted her concept. A truly outstanding man's success was not only in his career, but also in all aspects of life, including small things like cooking. He should be the kind of peerless man who could be in the hall and in the kitchen. The food was soon served. Shi Shujing looked at his phone. It's already 6 o'clock. Why hasn't my mom come back yet? She didn't bring her phone. Maybe she was shopping with her friends and forgot the time. Could it be? She's always been very punctual. Shi Shujing waited for another half an hour and made a few calls to the neighbors nearby, but they all said that they hadn't seen his mother. When it was already 8 o'clock, Shi Shujing became anxious. Could it be that my mom has gone missing? In the morning, Yan Zizhuang received a call from Shi Shujing, saying that he would come back for dinner. She was very happy. She had just recovered and her body was recovering well. It wasn't a big problem for her to walk around home, so she wanted to buy some fruits. She used to go to the market, but the people there all knew that Shi Shujing was her daughter, so every time she went there, they would make some sarcastic jokes about her, saying that Shi Shujing was capable, and that he could find a richer husband after divorce. Anyway, she didn't feel comfortable after hearing those words, so she didn't go there anymore and went straight to the supermarket. She bought 2 bags of apples and on her way home, a car suddenly stopped in front of her. 2 strong men got out and pulled her into the car, covering her eyes and mouth with a piece of cloth. She cried for help, but it was useless. After a long time, she felt the car stop and she was dragged out of the car. The strong men tore off the cloth and locked her in a room. "Let me out! Let me out!" Yan Zizhuang pounded on the door and screamed, but no one paid attention to her. Her body was still very weak and she was exhausted very quickly. She could only sit on the sofa to rest. After a while, the door opened and a white-haired man walked in. "Let me out!" Yan Zizhuang rushed over, but the moment she saw that person, her eyes widened in disbelief. A look of fear appeared in her eyes, and the nightmares of the past came back to haunt her. The feeling of terror engulfed her completely. This old man in front of her, wasn't he the man from 8 years ago? Yan Zizhuang fell into a horrifying memory. 8 years ago, a few men had barged into her house one night and kidnapped Shi Shujing. She had called the police, but the police didn't dare to do anything. By the time she reached the hospital, it was already too late. The child in Shi Shujing's stomach had already been aborted, and it was lying on the operating table covered in blood. She saw the doctor standing at the door of the car, bowing and bowing, reporting the situation. She only took a glance at the man in the back seat, but that glance was enough to make her remember him for the rest of her life. Even if he turned into ashes, she would still recognize him. She screamed, "Murderer!" and chased after them, but the car drove away and the doctor stopped her. She could still remember clearly what the doctor had told her. Even if she called the police, it would be useless. That man was an influential figure in Flozen City, and he was settling this matter on behalf of his son. He would never allow a woman of unknown origins to be pregnant with his family's child. During that period of time, she saw how much pain Shi Shujing was in, and she was in so much pain that she wanted to die. It was only after Shi Shujing fell down the stairs and lost his memory that she forgot about this matter. Yan Zizhuang thought that the sins and pain of the past would be buried together with her memory loss. She never expected to see him again. Could it be that he was... Boom! Yan Zizhuang's ears exploded like thunder and her face instantly turned pale. Due to fear, her entire body trembled violently. It was as though she had seen a ghost, and she looked at him in fear, trembling. It's you?" Sibo Hong walked over. "What? You know me?" I. Yan Zizhuang was still in a state of shock, and she looked at the fruit knife on the coffee table. "You want to kill me?" "Yes." She wanted to kill him, this cruel executioner, to avenge her grandson. What kind of person was Sibo Hong? What kind of person had he not seen before? How could he be afraid of a weak woman? Faced with such a situation, he could only smile coldly. "I know you want to, but you don't have the guts." He sat down unhurriedly and said hypocritically. Chapter 240. Yan Zizhuang stood rooted to the ground. Her mind was in a mess, but she forced herself to calm down. She could not let him know that the girl he sent to the operating table that year was Shi Shujing. "You? Who are you? What do you want?" "I am Si Wenchen's father, Sibo Hong." Yan Zizhuang had already guessed their relationship, but it still dealt a heavy blow to her. Not only did the 8-year nightmare not end, it continued in an even more terrifying way. What an ill-fated relationship. "What do you want?" "I want your daughter to leave my son." Sibo Hong slowly brewed a pot of tea and gestured for her to take a seat. "Don't worry, I won't do anything to you for now." Yan Zizhuang sat down, but she was very uneasy. She hated and feared him. "I used some tricks, but your daughter was very stubborn. She would rather die than leave Wenchen." "I can understand. My son is so outstanding, and your daughter is just a pitiful girl who was abandoned by a wealthy family. Since she met my son, of course she would try to grab hold of him." But what I saw was your son pestering my daughter. Sibo Hong treated this as a joke. Although he did not say anything, the expression on his face was full of mockery. Do you know about your daughter's pregnancy? What? She's pregnant? Yan Zizhuang was about to go crazy from the continuous blows. Even 8 years ago, when she suddenly found out that her young daughter was pregnant, she was not as anxious as she was now. Because her relationship with Si Wenxin was too complicated. They must not be together. It seems like she is too ashamed to tell you. I invited you here because I want to see if you, the mother or the child in her stomach, is more important. Are you trying to use me to threaten her to abort the child? Yan Zizhuang was very agitated. You are not human. If your daughter did not force me to this step, I would not have done this. I can see that you are a smart woman, so I offered you money to leave my son with your daughter. You definitely would not agree because you are after the entire Si family's fortune. You are thinking too much. We do not care about your family's money. Sibo Hong mocked. You make it sound so nice, as if you didn't become Shi Alfeng's mistress for money. What you think is one thing, but I've always been against them being together. This answer surprised Sibo Hong. He was very good at reading people, and he knew that Yan Zizhuang was speaking from the bottom of his heart. What? Don't tell me you think that my son is not worthy of your daughter? That's right. Yan Zizhuang was resolute. If he was a good man, he wouldn't have bullied such a young girl 8 years ago. He didn't even care when he caused her to get pregnant and miscarry. All the men in the Si family were demons. She was almost deceived by Si Wenxin. I will do everything I can to stop them from being together. Sibo Hong hesitated. His original intention of capturing Yan Zizhuang was to use her safety to force Shi Shujing to abort the child, but he also had his concerns and felt that it would be too cruel. It wasn't that he would be too cruel to Shi Shujing, but it would push his relationship with Si Wenxin to the brink. He wasn't sure if he should go that far, but since Yan Zizhuang was against it, he might as well make use of her first and see what she could do to force them to break up. Yan Zizhuang immediately grasped Sibo Hong's Achilles heel. You are also worried that your son will hate you, right? Let me go then. I will think of a way to stop them. Why should I believe you? Do you have any better ideas? Yan Zizhuang countered with a tinge of hatred. You hate my daughter as much as I hate the Si family, so I will never let my daughter marry into a family like yours and suffer. Sibo Hong wasn't angry at her sarcasm. Instead, he laughed and admired Yan Zizhuang. He hated women who cried and were weak and useless. Furthermore, the more Yan Zizhuang hated the Si family, the more forceful she would be when she opposed them. This was even better. I won't allow anyone to trick me. It's easy for me to capture you, so you better do as you say. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude the next time. After waiting for a long time for Yan Zizhuang to return, Shi Shujing was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. My mom wouldn't have gone missing, right? Let's go find her. Okay. The two of them had just gotten up when the door opened and Yan Zizhuang walked in. Mom? Shi Shujing hurriedly went up to her. Where did you go? Why are you back so late? Yan Zizhuang felt an indescribable pain in her heart when she saw her daughter. Her life wasn't easy enough, and she just wanted her daughter to have a better life. She didn't expect her daughter's fate to be even worse than hers. Thinking of this made her nose sting. Mom, why aren't you saying anything? I'm fine. I was just taking a walk nearby. You should take your phone with you. Do you know how worried I was for you? I'm fine. I'm fine? Yan Zizhuang glanced at Si Wenxin with a complicated expression mixed with a hint of hatred in her eyes. Even though it was just a flash, Si Wenxin still caught it. From the moment she entered the house, he sensed that something was wrong with her emotions. He could guess that the change in her emotions had something to do with Sibo Hong, but he didn't say anything in front of Shi Shujing. Auntie, you're back. He still nodded politely. Yan Zizhuang looked away coldly and ignored him. Mom, you must be hungry after walking for so long. Sit down and eat. Wenxin is cooking today. He's very good at cooking. Try it. It's fine. I've eaten outside, so I'm not hungry. Shi Shujing knew that she was lying. Yan Zizhuang never ate outside food because she thought it was unhygienic. She was just curious why her attitude had suddenly become so cold, as if she was very resistant to Si Wenxin. After all, she didn't oppose them too strongly before, and her attitude towards Si Wenxin was quite good. How can I not be hungry after walking for so long? I'll help you get some rice. It's fine. Bossy, it's getting late. You should go back first. Mom, what's wrong? Are you in a bad mood? No, I just don't want to see some people. Yan Zizhuang's reply was bone-chilling, and she was full of resistance towards him. What's the matter? Let's talk after dinner. Sure, Shujing tried her best to ease the tension between them, but Yan Zizhuang didn't give her any chance. It's fine. You stay. He'll go back. You stay here for the next few days. Mom, I've said what I wanted to say. Bossy, please go back. Sure, Shujing was really confused. He couldn't understand why Yan Zizhuang's attitude changed so quickly. She was never a bad person. Mom, since Andy wants you to stay, you can stay at home to accompany her. I'll go back first. I'll come back to pick you up in 2 days. But, sure, Shujing really wanted to be with him. It's fine. Si Wenchen mouthed to her, and his eyes flickered with tenderness. Andy, I'll go back first. Have a good rest. After Si Wenchen left, Yan Zizhuang also went back to her room and locked herself in the room. Sure, Shujing sat in the living room and felt depressed for a while. However, she still heated up the soup and brought it to her. Yan Zizhuang's back was facing her and she was crying silently. She quickly wiped away her tears. Mom, why are you crying? Sure, Shujing quickly wiped away her tears with a tissue. What happened outside just now? You don't seem right. It's nothing. I just feel that we have a tough life. Yan Zizhuang sighed and blamed herself for continuing to pester Shi Aofeng after his marriage. It was fine if she had to bear the sins she had committed, but now her daughter had to bear them. How could she not feel sad? It's fine. At least we still have each other. It's been so many years, haven't it? Sure, Shujing comforted her. Besides, I have Wenchen with me now. I feel very happy. Yan Zizhuang was hurt by these words. She swallowed the bitterness in her throat and said hurriedly, If I ask you to break up with Si Wenchen, what will you do? Break up? Impossible. Didn't I say it before? I will never break up with Wenchen. We are going to get married. You can't get married. Yan Zizhuang shouted anxiously, giving Shi Shujing a fright. What's wrong with you? Why are you reacting so strongly? Anyway, I will never agree to your marriage. Yan Zizhuang objected firmly. If they continued to be together, she would definitely remember what happened 8 years ago. By then, how could she accept the fact that the man she loved had raped her and aborted their child? She would break down. She had to stop that from happening. Shujing, Mom loves you the most in this world. Everything I do is for your good. Look, even if it's for love, I still got what I deserved. I don't want you to be like me. Si Wenchen is not an ordinary person. He is Qin Baiyuan's uncle. Those people will find out sooner or later. What will they think of your relationship? What will they say about you? I don't care what they say. I have Wenchen and that's enough. You can't ignore everything. As long as one is alive, it's impossible not to care about what others think. You don't care now, but it doesn't mean that you won't care in the future. That bad name will follow you for the rest of your life. You've seen it, I've been scolded by others for so many years. Do you want to be like me? Sure, Shujing was anxious and objected. I'm different from you. I've never been a third party, she regretted it the moment she said it. Mom, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. But Qin Baiyuan and I are divorced. What others say won't end just because you're divorced. You will always be Qin Baiyuan's ex-wife and will always bear the crime of betrayal. Leave Si Wenchen and we will go to another city to start a new life. Sure, Shujing shook his head. He couldn't understand why she would suddenly have such a radical idea. Chapter 241. Do you think the child is your talisman? He will only put you in more danger. If the Si family wants to deal with you, they will definitely deal with the child. You can only protect him if you leave Flozen City. That's impossible. Even if I leave, his father will not let me off. On the contrary, I will stay by Wenchen's side. With him protecting me, I will be safe. Can he watch over you at all times? You know how ruthless his father is. Once he has made up his mind to get rid of the child, he will definitely think of ways to do so. By then, even Si Wenchen will not be able to stop him. Shujing listened to Mom's advice. Stay away from those people, the further the better. Otherwise, you will be the one to suffer in the end. Sure, Shujing was already in a bad mood. She did not mind if others harmed her, but when even her own mother strongly objected to it, she fell into a state of loneliness and helplessness. All right, I don't want to talk about this with you. I've heated up the soup, so drink it quickly. I'll go back first and come back tomorrow. Go back? Go back where? Where is Si Wenchen? No way. Yan Zizhuang stood up anxiously and stopped her. You're not allowed to go back. Are you going to restrict my freedom? I can't allow you to continue making mistakes. Even though she knew that her objection would cause Shi Shujing to feel even more conflicted, Yan Zizhuang had no choice but to harden her heart. What's right and what's wrong? Is it right for me to continue protecting my unhappy marriage with Qin Baiyuan, and wrong for me to choose my own happiness? I live for myself, not for those outside. I don't care what they think as long as I'm happy. What about me? Do you not care? Shi Shujing had a bitter look on her face. You know that I care. Otherwise I wouldn't be so troubled. What's wrong with Wenqin? Why won't you give him a chance and insist on opposing us? You like him, so of course you think he's good, but do you really know what kind of person he is? Shujing, you're too naive. You don't understand those men at the top of power at all. When he likes you, he will do everything he can to get you and make you think that he's a good person. But deep down they're all the same. They're very cruel. Once he's no longer interested in you, he'll abandon you mercilessly. You won't even be able to keep your child. At that time you'll really have nothing. Shi Shujing was annoyed. She wholeheartedly protected Si Wenqin and did not allow anyone to speak ill of him, not even her mother. That's why you say that because you don't know him. He's a very good person. You have no right to criticize him. Anyway, no matter what you say, I want to be with him. After saying that, she pushed Yan Zizhuang away and rushed out of the room. She grabbed her bag and was about to leave, but the sound of crying stopped her in her tracks. Shi Shujing wanted to leave a few times, but in the end she could not bear it and stayed. She sat in the living room and listened to Yan Zizhuang cry for a long time before returning to the room. She walked to the balcony and gave Si Wenqin a call. Baby, do you miss me? On the phone, his tone was very light, but Shi Shujing could not relax at all. Her heart was heavy. Why aren't you saying anything? She sighed. What did your mother say? She said a lot and she strongly opposed us being together. I really can't understand it. She didn't oppose us much before, so why did her attitude change so suddenly? She forced me to leave you and even wanted to take me away from Flows and City. I feel like she's crazy. Is that so? Could it be that she's already immune to my beauty? That's impossible. Shi Shujing smiled bitterly. She's your mother, so she naturally has her own considerations. Don't think too much. Everything will be fine. Will it really be fine? But I've never seen her so resolute before. What if she keeps objecting to us being together? Believe in this saying, everything will straighten out when it comes to it. Everything has a solution. With me around, what are you afraid of? Hearing his deep voice, Shi Shujing felt a little more at ease as she thought of him. I believe you. My mother has been crying non-stop. I'm afraid I can only stay at home to accompany her for the next 2 days. I've already started to miss you. What should I do? Haven't I been accompanying you all this time? Look down. Shi Shujing looked down and realized that his Maybach was parked downstairs. He waved at her with his phone, and the screen was flashing like a firefly. You didn't leave? She was very surprised. I was worried, so I've been waiting for your call. Wenqin, Shi Shujing's heart was about to melt. You're so good to me. You're the woman I love. If I'm not good to you, who should I be good to? In the night, the light shone on Si Wenqin's face with a gentle glow. His brows were relaxed, and there was not a hint of worry on his face, which gradually soothed the anxiety in Shi Shujing's heart. The two chatted for a long time and Shi Shujing yawned. Are you sleepy? Rest first. Pregnant women can't stay up late. But I can't bear to leave you. I'll be downstairs. I'll leave after you fall asleep. Okay. Only then did Shi Shujing lay down on the bed with peace of mind. She hugged her phone and listened to his breathing as if he was by her side. It wasn't until there was no sound on the other end of the phone that Si Wenqin hung up the phone and drove away. When he got out of the car, the gentleness on his face was completely gone. It was as if he had changed into another person. His face was cold and murderous. Si Lan was about to go back to her room to sleep when she was surprised to see him return. Wenqin, why are you back? Is Dad asleep? He frowned. I don't think so. He's still in the study. Si Wenqin went upstairs without saying a word and pushed the door open. Sibo Hong had expected that he would come back today. He took off his reading glasses and looked at him unhappily. Didn't you say that you would never step into this house again? Now you're barging around, what's with that? If you hadn't captured Shi Shujing's mother, I wouldn't have come back. Si Wenqin gritted his teeth and said with a ruthless expression. So, are you here to settle the score with me? What did you say to her? Why is she against us so strongly? Did you use those despicable means to threaten her again? That's what I plan to do. But I don't need to threaten her. She's against you from the start. Sibo Hong sneered. Looks like that woman has some self-awareness. She knows that her daughter isn't worthy of you. Since she has such an attitude, I'll let her off for now. I want to see whether Shi Shujing will choose you or her mother. But since she can turn you into a cold-blooded animal who doesn't recognize her own family, I'm afraid she's the same. Her mother's health isn't good either. It would be strange if she didn't die from anger. How long can this unblessed relationship of yours last? I don't need your blessing. Si Wenxin said hatefully. I just want you to stop playing those tricks. You've been completely deceived by that woman. Who else do you care about? Sibo Hong shook his head. See for yourself. Other than the two of you, who else admits to this relationship? I'm against it, your mother is against it, Silan is against it, Qin is against it, even her mother is against it. Everyone is against it. Do you think this is a wise choice? Looking at the son he was most proud of, Sibo Hong subconsciously wanted to ease the relationship between father and son. If one person is against it, it might be because they don't understand you. But if everyone is against it, it means that the problem lies with you. Why don't you know how to reflect? Instead, you think that we're the ones who are hurting you. We're your family. How could we hurt you? Sibo Hong's words sounded reasonable, but Si Wenxin believed that they didn't understand what he and Shi Shujing had experienced, so they weren't qualified to judge their relationship. There was no right or wrong in love. It was the most ridiculous thing for them to stand on the so-called moral high ground and point fingers. In this world there was no such thing as empathy, especially love. Si Wenxin's eyes were absolutely cold, and he retorted disdainfully. Put away your self-righteous principles. No matter how bad Shi Shujing and I are, at least we haven't harmed anyone. Yet you've used all means to harm her. Don't you think that you don't have the right to say these words? Isn't it for your own good? Regarding this, I've already made it very clear. I don't need it. Sibo Hong was heartbroken. You'll regret it sooner or later. Whether I regret it or not is my own business. No one can make the decision for me. We're two completely different people and there's no point in talking about this. I'm warning you, keep your dirty hands away from Shi Shujing and his mother. If there's a next time, don't blame me for taking action against Shangyang. Sibo Hong was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. How can you say such ridiculous words? I've worked so hard for so many years, and I still have to hand over the empire to you. Why are you turning your spear against me? This is my own business. If you don't treat me as your son, I don't need to respect you as a father. My principle has always been that if you dare to touch the people around me, I'll return it to you tenfold. Si Wenxin's words were sonorous and powerful. Up until now, there was nothing he couldn't do as long as he was ruthless. Do you think you can get on Yan Zizhuang's good side by doing this? I bet you don't know how much she hates you. Sibo Hong sneered. I have to remind you that her resistance towards you isn't just because she doesn't approve of you dating her daughter. She probably hates you very much. Do you have any bad blood with her? This was what Si Wenxin was most worried about, and the possibility that he didn't want to think about. Could it be that Yan Zizhuang knew about what happened that night 8 years ago, and that's why her attitude changed so drastically? If his guess was confirmed, then it would be very troublesome. After all, any mother would oppose a bastard who had taken over her daughter, and he didn't have the face to face her. Moreover, they were worried that Shi Shujing would remember what happened that year. Si Wenxin felt a little irritated. Yet, Sibo Hong was still relentlessly questioning him. In a moment of anger, Si Wenxin couldn't help but scold him. Stop talking. He slammed the door and left angrily. Wenxin. Wenxin. Chapter 242. Yan Zizhuang cried for half the night. The next day she walked out of the room with dark circles under her eyes. Shi Shujing had already prepared breakfast. Mom, you're awake. I was about to call you for breakfast. Shi Shujing smiled brightly just like before. It was as if the two of them had not argued last night. Although Yan Zizhuang strongly opposed her relationship with Si Wenxin, which made her feel bad, a mother's motive was definitely for the sake of her daughter. How could there be a grudge between a mother and her daughter? She still had to think of a way to ease their relationship. Yan Zizhuang nodded and washed her face. Shi Shujing brought her a bowl of porridge. Plain porridge with pickled vegetables and a boiled egg. Your favorite combination in the past. Yan Zizhuang had mixed feelings and was not in a good mood. She slowly ate the porridge in silence. I'll stay at home for the next 2 days to accompany you. After breakfast, let's go buy some groceries. Yan Zizhuang shook her head. How are we going to cook if we don't buy groceries? I don't want to go to the market. I don't want to hear those people bad-mouthing you. Shi Shujing was stunned for a moment before smiling nonchalantly. It's their mouths. They can say whatever they want. It's not like I'll lose a piece of flesh. You don't care, but as your mother, how can I not care? I even quarreled with them a few times when I heard them saying that you betrayed me. She did not care how others scolded her, but her daughter was so outstanding and obedient. What right did they have to insult her? It's fine. You'll lose if you take it seriously. Just ignore it and ignore it. I'm not as thick-skinned as you. Shi Shujing's smile was a little stiff, but he still tried to change the topic. You really don't have to care about that. How about this? If you're not happy, I'll accompany you on a vacation. How about a hot spring in Wuxia City? Haven't you always wanted to go there? The current situation cannot be solved by a vacation. You have to leave Flozhen City completely. So what if I leave? Won't they say anything if I leave? I won't leave the place where I've lived for more than 10 years for those unrelated people. Shi Shujing's tone was light, but his attitude was clear. I won't leave. You? How did I give birth to such a shameless daughter like you? Yan Zizhuang suddenly smashed the bowl in anger, and the broken pieces flew everywhere, giving Shi Shujing a fright. Mom, it's fine if you want a divorce, but why do you have to be entangled with your ex-husband's uncle? Does it sound good to be accused of betrayal? You saw what happened to me. Why are you repeating the same mistake? What? Yan Zizhuang pulled on Shi Shujing forcefully as he roared and gave her a tight slap. I don't have a lowly daughter like you. If I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have given birth to you. Ever since she was young, Yan Zizhuang had never hit Shi Shujing before. But now she was pulling at Shi Shujing so intensely that her head was dizzy. Being scolded and beaten by her own mother, Shi Shujing's heart was in so much pain that it was bleeding. Why are you doing this to me? You're a girl, how can you be so shameless? Let go of me. Shi Shujing pushed her away and her eyes were red as well. Yes, I did betray you, but I only did it to pursue my own happiness. I didn't hurt anyone. Is this also wrong? You're my mother. When I was at my weakest, I hoped that you could support me. But you scolded me like this. It hurts my heart too. She started crying. Even if the whole world called her shameless, she would be able to take it. But when Yan Zizhuang scolded her like this, the pain she felt was indescribable. There are so many men in the world, why does it have to be him? No matter how many men there is only one Si Wenchen to me. In this lifetime, I will only love him and I must be with him. Pa. A heavy slap on the face made Shi Shujing's face tilt to the side. It was even more painful than before, like a whip lashing on her heart. After the extreme pain, tears welled up in her eyes, but she held them back and didn't fall. I don't care what you think, I must be with him. After saying that, Shi Shujing was about to run out, but Yan Zizhuang stopped her. If you dare to step out of this house today, I will die in front of you. Mom? Yan Zizhuang picked up the fruit knife and pressed it against her neck. Shi Shujing panicked. Mom, don't be rash. Put down the knife first. Yan Zizhuang cried as she said heartlessly. Anyway, living like this is worse than dying. I might as well die and end all my troubles. As she said that, she was about to slit her throat. Shi Shujing almost knelt down in front of her. No, don't do this. I won't leave. Don't be rash. Go back to your room. She threatened Shi Shujing with death, and she could only do as she was told. The moment she returned to her room, Yan Zizhuang locked the door. Mom, why did you lock me? Open the door. Shi Shujing knocked on the door forcefully. Let me out. I won't let you see Si Wenchen even if I die. Mom? Tears flowed out of her eyes. Shi Shujing sat at the door and cried sadly. I love him. I really love him. Don't do this to me, I beg you. Mom, let me out. Mom? Yan Zizhuang's crying pierced her heart and she started crying too. She knew that what she was doing was very cruel, and it was equivalent to forcing her daughter to die. But no matter what, she could not let her daughter be together with someone who had abused her, not even in death. Shi Shujing cried for a long time and her tears dried up. Her lower abdomen was a little painful and it only subsided after a while. She wanted to call Si Wenchen, but she realized that her phone was in the living room. In an instant she was completely helpless. The phone rang and Yan Zizhuang saw that it was Si Wenchen's call. She hung up and he called a few more times. Yan Zizhuang wiped her tears away and answered the call. Shujing, how are you? He asked anxiously. It's me. Auntie? Don't call and harass Shujing anymore. She won't see you again. Don't hang up yet. I know that you are doing this for Shujing's sake. Can you come out first and let's talk? Yan Zizhuang was furious. I have nothing to say to you. Don't pester us anymore. I'll wait for you at the tea house at the entrance of the neighborhood until you come. I won't go. Just give up. Yan Zizhuang hung up the phone. Her words were very harsh, but her heart was uneasy. Thinking that her daughter was locked up by her, she felt very sad. She admitted that Si Wenxin was a capable man, and she also believed in his love for Shujing. But what happened 8 years ago meant that they could never be together. She had to stop them even if she had to use her last breath. Shujing, I'm sorry. But Mom is doing this for your own good. Forgive Mom. At noon, Yan Zizhuang brought lunch for Shujing. Because she threatened to kill herself, Shujing did not dare to run away. But she refused to eat and only cried and begged her. Yan Zizhuang felt sad when she heard that. The mother and daughter, one in the living room and the other in the bedroom, cried for the whole day and did not drink a sip of water. Just like that, night fell. Yan Zizhuang looked at the time and saw that it was already past 11 o'clock. She could not help but wonder if Si Wenxin was still around. She forced herself not to think about it, but her brain could not control itself. She could not divert her attention no matter what she did. Her heart was in a mess. In the end, she made up her mind and decided to go. No matter what, she had to make things clear. When Yan Zizhuang arrived, the tea house was about to close. Only Si Wenxin was sitting there alone. She hated Si Wenxin in the past, but seeing him so haggard, she felt her heart ache. Although she was not willing to admit the relationship between him and Shujing, she was indeed touched by him. If not for what happened 8 years ago, she would have accepted him long ago. Auntie. Si Wenxin's eyes lit up and he hurriedly stood up. You're here, please take a seat. He pulled out a chair for her, but Yan Zizhuang's attitude was cold. You don't have to please me. I'm here to tell you that I will never agree to you being together with my daughter. Even if I have to use my life to force her, I will not allow it. Shujing is a filial daughter. She might be in pain now, but she will definitely compromise in the future. That's all. Wait, Si Wenxin stopped her. I know why you're against us. Yan Zizhuang sneered, her eyes flashing with hatred. Do you really know? Yes, you're against us because of what happened 8 years ago. Her eyes narrowed, confirming Si Wenxin's guess. Yan Zizhuang was a woman with a weak personality. Her extreme attitude must have something to do with that incident. Yan Zizhuang was surprised. You still remember? Yes. I've always remembered. From the first time I saw her, I knew it was her. It's just that she forgot about me. Yan Zizhuang was furious. Since you remember, why did you still provoke her? Do you think that you didn't hurt her enough 8 years ago? Are sure Shujing is a good girl. If you didn't keep pestering her, she wouldn't have betrayed you. Are you trying to get her killed? Si Wenxin allowed her to pound her fists on his chest. To him, this made him feel better. For the past 8 years, I've been thinking about her. After meeting her again, I like her even more. Yes, I admit that I was despicable in the beginning. I only wanted to snatch her away because I was interested in her. I didn't think about the future. However, I fell deeper and deeper. From the initial liking to now, I couldn't help myself. The more I loved her, the more afraid I was. I was afraid that she would remember what happened that night. I was afraid that she would hate me, so I didn't dare to bring it up. He closed his eyes in pain, hating himself for being weak. However, he couldn't bear the pain of losing her, so there was nothing he could do. What's the use of apologizing now? If you had a conscience, that night wouldn't have. Yan Zizhuang cried her heart out. She's still so young. How could you bear to do that? That night, someone sent her to my room. This is what those in the business world call a gift. I've seen it many times and rejected it. However, Shujing. It's my fault. I knew that she was drugged, but I still. What did you say? She was drugged? Chapter 243. You're lying. You raped her. Since I've admitted to my crimes, I won't hide anything. She was indeed drugged. Yan Zizhuang was shocked. Her daughter was with the Shi family at that time. How could she have been drugged? I've always been unwilling to pursue the matter, but if I were to investigate, someone must have harmed her on purpose. My daughter. Why is she so pitiful? Yan Zizhuang wailed. You bastards are worse than her. She's only a teenager. How could you bear to do that? Are you still human? I'm sorry. What's the use of apologizing? Can you change the truth by apologizing? Can you save the child? What child? The child that Sibo Hong forced onto the operating table and aborted? Si Wenshin's ears buzzed. He couldn't believe it. He and Shi Shujing had a child, and the child was forcibly aborted by Shi Shujing's father? At that moment his face turned ashen. That would be their first child, and excruciating pain spread through his body. Si Wenshin took a step back as though he had suffered a heavy blow. But who could he blame for this? He was in so much pain now because he loved her very much. But if they didn't have feelings for each other back then, he would have asked her to abort the child. He was the one who had caused all this. He was the executioner. I know that you're against us because you don't want her to remember the pain she experienced back then. I don't want that either. But now that you've locked her up like this, doesn't she feel pain? She might only be able to recall the memories back then, but now she's really experiencing pain. She's pregnant now and her body is so weak. How can she endure such pain? We've been through so much together. If this goes on, she'll be tortured to death. Every word was like a knife stabbing into Yan Zizhuang's soft spot. Other than crying, she didn't know what else to do. It's useless to say anything now. Even if I apologize 1,000 times, it won't change what happened that night. Please give me a chance, let me make it up to her, let me treat her well, please. Si Wenshin knelt down stiffly. He was such a strong man, but his eyes were also red at this moment. Please, Auntie. Let me be with Shi Shujing. Please? Such a Si Wenshin almost made Yan Zizhuang compromise. Those words were at the tip of his tongue, but he couldn't say them. No. She couldn't let her daughter be with such a man just because he had knelt down and begged her so bitterly. Give up. No matter how much you beg me, it's useless. If you still love Shi Shujing, you should stay away from her. Even if I have to use my last breath, I won't let you two be together. The shop assistant stood at the side, watching Si Wenshin kneeling for a long time with a sorrowful look on his face. They felt sorry for him, but they didn't dare to go up and persuade him to get up. What kind of crime did he commit to make such an arrogant man break his knees? Yan Zizhuang returned home in a daze, unable to digest so many horrifying facts. Shi Shujing had been drugged? At that time, Shi Aofeng hadn't suffered a stroke yet, so he must have been very protective of her. So, who was so cruel and merciless to harm her daughter like that? Could it be Stony Moon and her daughter? If it was Stony Moon and her daughter, then they must have harmed Shi Shujing out of hatred and sent her to Si Wenshin's bed. In that incident, Si Wenshin was at fault, but at the end of the day it was all because of her. She was the one who harmed Shi Shujing. Yan Zizhuang's face was ashen just thinking about it. It was her fault, so why did her daughter have to suffer? God, why were you so cruel? It was her fault, so she should bear it. Her poor daughter didn't do anything wrong, but her life was so difficult. It was so unfair to her. Si Wenshin left the restaurant very late. When he received a call from his assistant, the sadness on his face faded and was replaced by his usual cold and stern face. There was even a hint of murderous intent. Is there any news? Yes, I've asked President Lin. He said that the girl 8 years ago was indeed given to you by him, but he didn't choose her himself. It was his daughter who arranged it. His daughter is the director of Shunjin Group and used to be good friends with Stony Moon, but they gradually drifted apart. Stony Moon, it was indeed that woman. Gritting his teeth, Si Wenshin muttered that name. His eyes seemed to be sealed in ice, and he was filled with murderous intent. In the dark room, a woman gradually woke up from her coma. She could still smell the thick smell of ether in her nose. Shi Jiyue supported her weak upper body and sat up. She held her head and looked around dizzily. This was a completely unfamiliar room and the furnishings looked like a hotel. She remembered that she went shopping alone. Just as she walked out of the mall, a few people wearing masks suddenly rushed out, dragged her into the car and drugged her. Stony Moon's first reaction was to check her clothes. Luckily, her clothes were intact and had not been violated. Do you still remember where this is? The voice that suddenly sounded out caused Shi Jiyue to jump in fright, and she instinctively shrunk back. Only then did she notice a figure sitting on the sofa. It was only because the light was particularly dim and he was wearing a black suit that she did not notice. Because of his existence, the atmosphere in the room became even more terrifying and oppressive. It was as if even the air was filled with a chilling cold. She widened her frightened eyes and looked carefully for a while. The man elegantly crossed his long legs like a dangerous beast, arrogant like an emperor. When that pair of eyes that were as cold as 10,000 years of ice met hers, Stony Moon could not help but let out an ah. See Mr. C? Did he capture her? What was his purpose in capturing her? Was it to avenge Shi Shujing? Do you still remember this room? Si Wenchen used that deep and enchanting voice to ask again. It was cold and eerie as if it had drilled out from the ground. It grabbed Stony Moon's throat, causing her to tremble in nervousness. She shook her head in fear. You've never been to this room, but you should have an impression of King Hotel Room 3002. Stony Moon did not know what he was talking about and thought for a long time. Think carefully, what good things have you done? It's done. King Hotel Room 3002, she can't escape tonight. That was a few years ago. Stony Moon suddenly felt as if she was struck by lightning. Her face turned white and her body trembled in fear like snow. Her forehead was covered in cold sweat. Si Wenchen's lips curled up coldly. Looks like you still remember that year when you personally sent your sister to a strange man's bed. It was in this room. You? What are you talking about? I don't understand. Stony Moon was almost scared out of her wits, but her face was filled with guilt. Ever since Shi Shujing had hooked up with Mr. C, she had not had a good night's sleep. She often had nightmares at night, dreaming that Mr. C wanted to kill her or send someone to rape her. Every day she lived in fear. She did not expect that she could not avoid it. This day had finally come. She was going to die. Since I've captured you here, I naturally know what's going on. Whether you admit it or not, it's one thing. But if you admit it, I might give you a quick death. In the dim light there was a flash of light. When Si Wenchen stood up, Stony Moon saw that he was holding a dagger in his hand, as if he could stab her at any time. She was instantly scared out of her wits and retreated backwards. Don't come over. Stony Moon wanted to hide, but the effects of the drug had not subsided. Her whole body was still limp and she did not have any strength. She was so anxious that she was sweating profusely. Mr. C. There must be some misunderstanding. I really don't know what you're talking about. Looks like you won't shed a tear until you see the coffin. Si Wenchen squatted down in front of her. That pair of cold eyes emitted a cold light, as if her whole body was imprisoned. There was an invisible string that was tightening around her body, and she was about to suffocate. Linwan, do you still remember this name? 8 years ago, you drugged Shi Shujing when she was working in the bar, and then asked Linwan to send her to this room to be ravaged by a strange man. Is that right? I really don't know. Stony Moon was so scared that she kept crying. It's not that you don't know, it's just that you didn't expect that Shi Shujing would be with me, and I would investigate this matter. My woman was once hurt by someone. Tell me, how should I deal with you? I didn't expect things to be so serious. I just wanted to scare her. I thought that man wouldn't touch her. That was all before you met her. Why do you have to pursue this matter? Aren't you guys doing well now? Stony Moon would never have thought that the man was Si Wenchen. She thought that he had come to settle the score with her because Shi Shujing had been tainted by another man. Shi Shujing was married before and it wasn't the first time. Before she could finish her words, Si Wenchen grabbed her neck, and she was forced to raise her head to meet his murderous eyes. No matter if it's in the past or now, I won't let anyone who hurts Shi Shujing off. I'm sorry. I'll do anything you want me to. Please don't kill me. I beg you, Stony Moon cried and begged. Her whole body was already drenched in sweat, and she was so scared that she almost peed her pants. Kill you? Wouldn't that be too easy on you? When Si Wenchen smiled, it became more and more ruthless and dangerous. The dagger slowly slid across her face. Ruining your face should make you feel more pain. No, don't. Stony Moon cried until her voice was hoarse, but she didn't dare to struggle and she didn't dare to move. The sharp blade was pressed against her face. As long as she exerted a little force, her face would be cut, and she would be finished for the rest of her life. When you hurt her, didn't you think that this day would come? Chapter 244. Si Wenchen could imagine her ruthless face in the past, but now she looked so pitiful. She was not worthy of sympathy at all. Instead, it made him gnash his teeth in hatred. If it wasn't for the pitiful blood relationship between her and Shi Shujing, perhaps he would really stab her to death. You're not worthy to die in my hands. Si Wenchen fiercely flung her away. I'll make you pay 1,000 times for what you did to her. Stony Moon collapsed on the ground. She suddenly felt a hot and wet feeling coming from below. She was so scared that she peed. After walking on the edge of death, Stony Moon returned home in a daze. She found Tao Yichin packing his luggage. He had already packed 2 large suitcases. Her body was weak and her face was pale as paper. She let out a weak voice. What are you doing? Tao Yiqian ignored her. With a gloomy face he continued to pack. Tao Yiqian, what are you doing? She pulled him. Her fingers were cold. She longed for his comfort, but he pushed her away. Can't you see? I'm packing my things. Where are you going? Business trip? No. I want to move out. Move out? Where are you moving to? This news was too sudden. Stony Moon couldn't understand it. I want to leave you and live apart from you. Live apart? Why do we have to live apart? Stony Moon had a vague answer in her heart. But she didn't dare to think in that direction. Is it because I blamed you for having too many social engagements last night? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said such ugly words. I apologize to you, okay? Don't go. Tao Yiqian suddenly became angry. He threw his clothes on the bed and roared. You know clearly what you've done. I really didn't think that you're such a cruel and merciless woman. Ever since Shi Shujing came in, you've been making things difficult for her. Fine, I can understand that, but I can't believe that you would drug her and let a stranger rape her. He still remembered that morning 8 years ago. Shi Shujing had returned home with her clothes in a mess. He had asked her what had happened, but she had refused to answer and had locked herself in her room. It had taken her a few days to recover, but later on she had gotten pregnant. He had asked her repeatedly to find out what had happened. He thought it was just an accident, but he didn't expect that the person behind the scenes was the person who slept with him. Shi Shujing is your sister. How could you treat her like that? Are you still human? Stony Moon was so agitated that he covered his ears and screamed like a madman. No, she's not my sister. She's not. She's a bastard. Her mother stole my father and now she's here to steal you. She deserves to die. We grew up together, but as soon as she appeared, you treated her well and I treated her fiercely. You protected her and blamed me instead. I hated her. That's because you're narrow-minded. No. She's the one who seduced you. You dare to say that you don't like her? Yes. I like her, but that's my one-sided love. It has nothing to do with her. You shouldn't harm her like that. Stony Moon had always known about his feelings for her, but Tao Yiqian's confession still dealt a devastating blow to her. I knew you first. Why did you have a change of heart? She pounced on him and pounded on his chest. What? I've never liked you at all. Tao Yiqian grabbed her wrist and exerted force without mercy, as if he wanted to break both her hands. Did you hear me clearly? I don't like you at all. I only married you for Dad. You didn't like me, but you still had sex with me? Shi Leiwei was heartbroken. We've been married for 7 years. Don't you have any feelings for me? Don't tell me that you've forgotten how good I've been to you in these 7 years. You've been good to me, but you're always so overbearing. You still treat me as a subordinate of the Shi family. You're always angry at me and order me around. Being with you I'm really tired. But Shi Shujing is different. Maybe she doesn't have a glorious background and isn't as pretty as you, but at least she knows what respect is and what care is. She's not as selfish as you. I'm very happy being with her. More than 10 years of love and 7 years of marriage, but in the end she was called selfish. Stony Moon had a feeling of despair. It was as if all her years of hard work and love had been wasted. She had shared a bed with him for 7 years, but she couldn't compare to a woman she only saw a few times a year. How ironic was this? It was also because of jealousy that she hurt Shi Shujing so much. In these 7 years I've been enduring. I've thought of giving you a chance, but you haven't changed at all. I can't feel love for you. I've persisted until now for Dad, but now I can't persist anymore. I can't face such a cruel woman. If you agree to divorce, then I can leave with nothing. If you don't agree, we'll separate first. When I'm done with the company, we'll leave. Think about it carefully. After saying these words, Tao Yiqian didn't want to look at her anymore. He closed the suitcase and was about to leave, but Stony Moon refused. I won't let you go. She hugged the suitcase and didn't let go. I won't let you go. I don't want to. Tao Yiqian was so annoyed that he didn't even want the suitcase anymore. Don't go, please don't go. Shi Leiwei hugged him tightly. Even when she was almost disfigured just now, she had never felt as hopeless as now. I know I didn't do well in the past and I know I'm guilty, but it's all because I love you too much. Tao Yiqian, no matter how I treat you, my love is real. Have you forgotten how much I've done for you in these 7 years? Every time Tao Yiqian had the thought of divorce, he would use this to suppress it. No matter how wrong Shi Leiwei was, no matter how bad she was, she did love him. He had been enduring and enduring, but there was a limit to any kind of endurance. Shi Shujing's matter had completely broken the taut string. This is not love, this is possessiveness. Your love is too heavy, I can't bear it. Don't go, you don't have to love me, but please stay by my side, okay? I will change, I will really change. I swear, I won't hurt her anymore, I will be gentle to you, don't leave me, without you I will really die. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Tao Yichin heartlessly pried open her fingers one by one and left without looking back. Si Wenchen stood on the balcony, looking at the dimly lit city and listening to his assistant's report. As he expected, Tao Yichin had already moved out of the Sher family and wanted to divorce Stony Moon. She only had herself to blame for all of this. To truly destroy a person, it wasn't to kill her, but to take away everything that she relied on to survive. Divorce was more painful than killing Stony Moon. Once he made up his mind to take revenge, he would never be soft-hearted. There was still Shi Shujing's scent in the house, and every corner of the house was filled with their memories. It was like a thin thread wrapping around Si Wenchen's heart, making it ache slightly. There were too many difficulties ahead of them, and even if they came one by one, they might not be able to solve all of them. Therefore, even he would have times when he was physically and mentally exhausted. However, he never had the thought of giving up. Not to mention the difficulties, even if the road ahead was filled with thorns, he would be willing to walk through it barefoot. Thinking of their child, Si Wenchen felt a sense of comfort, and a faint smile appeared on his lips. Under the light, he looked exceptionally gentle. Shujing, we will definitely get through this, trust me. Sure, Shujing was locked in the room by Yan Zizhuang, and she barely ate anything. She would only force herself to eat a little when she thought of the child, but her pregnancy reaction was more serious, and she would vomit even if she ate. Yan Zizhuang was very worried, but he did not dare to give her medicine during her pregnancy, so he could only worry. Sure, Shujing had already stopped running, because if she said she wanted to leave, Yan Zizhuang would threaten her with suicide. In the room, Yan Zizhuang was packing Sure Shujing's luggage. Just bring the most important things with you, and buy the other things when we reach Wuzhen City. I've already contacted a friend there, and she helped us rent a house in the suburbs. I've also told the agent to sell this house if the price is right, and we won't be coming back in the future. Sure, Shujing did not speak, and her face was very haggard as if she had been sucked dry, and there was no color at all. Yan Zizhuang's heart ached when she saw this, but she could only lower her head and not look at her, or her heart would be torn apart. Mom? Her pale lips and the voice that came out was also hoarse, and it made one's heart ache. At first, Sure Shujing would still quarrel with her, but after being locked up for a few days she knew that Yan Zizhuang would not change her mind, and she was tortured until she lost her temper. Yan Zizhuang's hand trembled. There's no point in doing this. No matter where we move to, Wenchen will find us. How could Yan Zizhuang not know this, but she had no other choice. She could only lie to herself and say that everything would be fine if they left this place. So she hardened her heart and said, he's looking for you, just don't see him and he'll slowly give up. When the child is born, I'll help you take care of it and we'll definitely teach it well so that it doesn't repeat our mistakes. Sure, Shujing smiled bitterly. I left with you because you used your life to threaten me, and I had no choice but to do so. But you've hurt me deeply and I'm really disappointed in you. Let's not talk about this anymore. We're almost done packing, let's go. After getting into the taxi, Sure Shujing looked out of the window in silence, and Yan Zizhuang's heart was also filled with sadness. The relationship between the mother and daughter seemed to have reached a dead end. Perhaps Sure Shujing would never forgive her, but everything she did was to protect her daughter. No matter how painful her heart was, she had to persevere. There was a faint pain in his lower abdomen, and Sure Shujing did not pay much attention to it at first, but the pain became more and more frequent. My stomach hurts. I won't let you get out of the car even if you're like this. I'm not lying to you, it really hurts. Baby, quick, send me to the hospital. Chapter 245. She knelt at the door of the ward and started to repent anxiously. Guanyin Bodhisattva, I was wrong. If you want to punish me, punish me. You must protect the child. I beg you. If anything happens to the child, I don't want to live anymore. Si Wenchen rushed over and helped Yan Zizhuang up. How is she? I don't know. Yan Zizhuang was a woman after all. She was so flustered that she couldn't stop crying. It's all my fault. If anything happens to them, what am I going to do? I'll just die. Yan Zizhuang wanted to bang her head against the wall as she said that. Si Wenchen quickly held her back and comforted her. It's okay, Sure Shujing is very strong. She and the child will be fine. The two of them waited outside the ward for a long time. Every minute and every second was torture for them. Their hearts were constantly being torn apart, as though they were waiting at the entrance of hell for their judgment. The moment the doctor came out, the two of them rushed forward to ask, "How is she?" "She's fine and the child is fine too. It's just that the fetus was affected, but it's stabilized now. Luckily, she was sent to the hospital in time, otherwise she wouldn't have been able to live." "How did you two take care of a pregnant woman?" The doctor scolded. "Her body is very weak, and the fetus won't be able to get any nutrients. Something will happen to her sooner or later. You have to be more careful in the future." When the two of them entered the ward, Shi Shujing was already asleep. She had lost a lot of weight after going through so much torture and she looked much smaller than before. Si Wenxin looked at her. He didn't feel good at all and his eyes were red. He swore that he would make her the happiest woman in the world, but he didn't manage to do it. He even made her suffer so much. The thought of it made his heart ache and he was filled with guilt towards her. He rarely felt so helpless. Even though he was facing the person he cared about the most and loved the most, he couldn't protect her and kept blaming himself for being useless. Looking at the two people in front of her who were clearly in love but were forced to separate because of her threat, Yan Zizhuang's heart was filled with bitterness. She always told herself that what she did was for the sake of her daughter, but she was the one who hurt her the most. Not only did she not take good care of her, but she also stabbed her heart with a dagger. For the sake of what might happen in the future, she caused real harm to her now. It was ridiculous to think about it. Even if she was her mother, she had no right to decide her life for her. At that moment, Yan Zizhuang came to a realization. Or rather, she had accepted her fate. Even if she could separate their bodies, she could not separate their hearts. She might even harm the child. Since that was the case, she should protect their happiness instead of cruelly breaking them apart. She really regretted it. Don't, child, Wenxin, save the child. Wenxin. Shi Shujing fell into a deep pool of blood. In the blood, her mother pulled the child out of her body, and she woke up from the nightmare. "Shujing, I'm here. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid." Si Wenxin held her hand tightly and comforted her for a long time. Only then did Shi Shujing gradually wake up from the horrible nightmare. "Wenxin? Is it true? Is it really you?" "It's me." Si Wenxin's eyes glistened with tears. Such an arrogant man was also very fragile at this moment. Tears seemed to flow out of his eyes at any time. "You're crying? The child? Did something happen to the child?" "No, he's fine." "Really?" "Yes. The baby is still here." Shi Shujing heaved a sigh of relief. "I've been protecting him with my hands. I really tried my best to protect him. Wenxin, I didn't cry. I have to be strong for the baby." I know you're strong." Si Wenxin's nose was even more sore. She smiled through her tears. "My Shujing is the strongest mother. Yes. He's the most important to me. Even if I have to risk my life, I'll protect him." "Shujing?" As soon as Yan Zizhuang spoke, Shi Shujing's eyes were immediately filled with fear. Si Wenxin was so frightened that she shrank into his arms and held onto his arm tightly. "Mother, please don't separate us. I don't want to go. I really don't want to. I beg you." The fear in her daughter's eyes was the accusation of her sins. Yan Zizhuang felt even more guilty and nodded with tears in her eyes. "I won't stop you anymore." "Really?" "Yes. Because of my stupid actions, I almost killed my little grandson. I regret it too much. I really don't have the face to see you." Previously, Shi Shujing hated Yan Zizhuang. However, when he saw her crying and repenting, his heart softened. "Mother, don't cry. I know you're doing this for my own good. You're my mother. How can I really blame you? Let's not talk about it anymore, okay?" "That's good." Yan Zizhuang wiped away her tears. "You haven't eaten anything for a few days. Are you hungry? I'll go buy some porridge for you. You two can chat slowly." "Thank you, mother." The burden that had been weighing down on Shi Shujing's heart for the past few days was finally lifted. Her tense body collapsed into Si Wenxin's embrace. "I've finally gotten past my mother. It's really not easy to get her approval. I didn't know that my mother was so stubborn. She's so tough." She purposely teased him in a relaxed tone, but it made Si Wenxin feel even worse. He didn't dare to imagine how much pressure she had been under these few days. If it was someone else, he would have snatched her back long ago. However, Yan Zizhuang was his mother-in-law, and he didn't dare to act recklessly. Furthermore, he felt guilty towards her. "What are you thinking about?" "About you." Si Wenxin kissed the top of her head. "You're finally back by my side. It's so good." I couldn't see you or contact you these few days. It was so torturous. There were a few times when I had the urge to jump off the building, but that would hurt the baby. Of course, I couldn't do that. Moreover, I knew that you would definitely come to save me. Thank you for trusting me. What's wrong? Why do I feel that you look so sad? Did my mom scare you? Si Wenqin smiled. I was a little scared. I didn't expect my future mother-in-law to be so powerful. I couldn't even take a blow. Hee, now you've seen how powerful my mother is. Let's see if you still dare to bully me in the future. There were a lot of difficulties along the way, but it's finally over. It's not easy for us to start this relationship. We've overcome so many obstacles. We've overcome your mother and my family. I really dote on you. Shi Shujing stuck out her tongue. It's okay. I'm strong now. Moreover, my mother has overcome such a difficult obstacle for us. It's just a matter of time for your father. She held his hand and interlocked their fingers. Her eyes shone. As long as our relationship is strong enough, no difficulty can knock us down. You're quite optimistic now. You're even comforting me. Isn't that right? I'm going to be a mother soon. How can I not be strong? Moreover, you're crying. Of course, I have to comfort you. I'm not crying. A man with a strong sense of pride would never want to admit this. You're still denying it? Her eyes were red. I was shocked. It turns out that our great CEO Si can also cry. Shame on you. You, Si Wenqin got angry and kissed her on the cheek. If we weren't in the hospital now, I would have executed you on the spot. Didn't you say that you don't care about time and place when you act like a pervert? Shi Shujing deliberately teased him. Her little face, which was pale just a moment ago, was now a little more radiant. She was so mischievous that Si Wenqin was aroused. He bit her ear and blew hot air into her ear with ill intentions. Baby, are you hinting that I should act like a pervert right now? After not seeing him for a few days, Shi Shujing was still not used to this man's wickedness. Her face became even redder. She looked very attractive, but her body was also very thin. When he hugged her, it was like hugging a skeleton. Si Wenqin's heart ached. How could he bear to destroy her? You see, I'm in the hospital every few days. I might as well stay here and save myself the trouble of running back and forth. Don't you hate the smell of medicine in the hospital? Let's rest here for a few days. When your body recovers, we'll go home. Okay. In the next few months, you have to do one thing. What is it? Seeing his serious face, Shi Shujing also became serious. He poked her pretty little nose. Fatten yourself up. Just now, the doctor blamed me and your mother for not taking good care of you. He said that you're too thin and the baby can't absorb nutrients. I know. It's just that I was too depressed these days, so I didn't want to eat. Of course, I also forced myself to eat a little, but I would vomit it out after eating. It was very uncomfortable. But now it's different. With you by my side, everything tastes good. You will definitely feed me well, right? That's right, baby. Of course I will feed you well. Si Wenqin misinterpreted her words evilly. He tightened his arms and pulled her into his arms. He sealed her lips domineeringly. Before Shi Shujing could react, she was directly captured. This kiss was full of passion, telling of the longing during this period of time. It was passionate and lingering. The two kissed until they were about to suffocate before they let go. Si Wenqin's breathing was uneven, and Shi Shujing was even more dizzy from the kiss. Suddenly, she saw Yan Zizhuang standing at the door with porridge in her arms. Her face was red. Shi Shujing wanted to find a hole to hide in. Si Wenqin and Yan Zizhuang both stayed in the hospital, taking turns to take care of Shi Shujing. Every day their task was to force her to eat all kinds of nutrients. It was quite exaggerated. In just a few days, Shi Shujing had gained 3 to 4 kilograms. She felt like a balloon that was constantly expanding. But when she thought that the child had absorbed the nutrients, she felt very satisfied. Si Wenqin sat by the bed, holding a bowl and spoon, feeding Shi Shujing mouthful by mouthful, as if she was a 3-year-old girl. It's so greasy. I really can't drink anymore. Chapter 246. Just one mouthful. You're lying. You've already tricked me into drinking more than 10 mouthfuls. I won't fall for it. Shi Shujing covered her mouth with her hand and shook her head vigorously. She refused to open her mouth no matter what. Baby, be good. I'm not drinking. Sweetheart, I'm not drinking. No matter how hard he tried to persuade her, Shi Shujing was determined not to drink it. Si Wenqin changed his tone to a threat. If you don't drink it, you won't have sex this week. Hey, I didn't want it in the first place, okay? You're the one who keeps pestering me. You don't say it, but your body is craving me. I can feel it, Si Wenqin said naughtily. In the hospital, Shi Shujing couldn't let himself go. Plus, she was too skinny, so he couldn't bear to ravage her. Hence, he couldn't satisfy himself even after doing it twice. So now, when she licked her lips or acted coquettishly, she could immediately trigger a reaction from his body. It was hard to endure. I don't crave it, Shi Shujing said nonchalantly, but she inexplicably felt a little guilty. This could only be blamed on his superb skills, so sometimes she was tormented by him to the point where she couldn't control herself. You don't want to drink it? You forced me to do this. After Si Wenqin said that, he took a big mouthful of porridge and kissed her lips. He fed it to her and took advantage of her. Shi Shujing almost choked. She was forced to swallow the porridge and stared at him. Hey, this is very unhygienic. We've already had negative contact. Why do you care about this? Annoying. You're in such a good mood in broad daylight. A teasing voice came. Shi Shujing looked over. Silan was standing at the door, holding a bouquet of flowers in her hands. Did she see it? Shi Shujing blushed. She was very shy. Silan generously comforted her. You're all adults. Why are you blushing? I'm not that old. I can understand your enthusiasm. However, Wenqin, he's sick. Aren't you being a little too rude? You have to be gentle and protective towards girls, understand? You can't be so barbaric. Shi Shujing seized the opportunity to chime in. That's right, be gentle. Si Wenqin was amused by her little vixen's smug look. He got up and poured a cup of tea for Silan. Why are you here today? I wanted to come 2 days ago, but the company was busy and I couldn't get away. As a sister, of course, I have to come see my sister-in-law and my little nephew. To Shi Shujing, this concern was rare and precious. She had always been grateful to Silan. Thank you, Sister Lan. Calling me Sister Lan makes me feel like an outsider, and it doesn't sound nice. Anyway, you'll be a part of the Si family sooner or later, so just call me Big Sister. Big Sister. Isn't that right? Silan held Shi Shujing's hand warmly, looking very friendly. I heard that your mother isn't very willing to accept you too. You must have suffered during this period of time, right? A little, but my mother has already agreed to us being together. I see. This was Silan's purpose of coming, to find out Yan Zizhuang's attitude. She knew that Yan Zizhuang and Si Wenqin had been taking care of Shi Shujing for a while, but she wasn't sure if it was a temporary compromise or something. Now she was sure of it. That's good, that's good. Congratulations to you guys. Thank you. I knew it. Where else can I find such a good girl like you? Don't you have the right to choose just because you had a failed marriage? There's no such logic. My father is stubborn and old-fashioned. I'll help you persuade him, okay? Don't worry, I'll support you no matter what. Even if I don't do it for Wenqin's sake, I'll do it for my unborn nephew, right? My only regret in this life is that I didn't have one of my own, but I actually like children very much, so I'm hoping that you can have one soon. When the time comes, I can help you take care of it. Silan's eyes were full of smiles, but in her heart, she was thinking that this child might not be able to be born peacefully. At night, when Silan returned home, Sibo Hong asked, Where have you been all day? You didn't even pick up your calls. I'm at the hospital. I've muted my phone. What's the matter? Subconsciously, Silan hoped that Sibo Hong would ask, Why did you go to the hospital? Are you not feeling well? But to her disappointment, Si Baihong automatically ignored this sentence and directly ordered her to leave. Don't mute your phone in case I can't find you. I got it. Silan couldn't help but feel that it was ironic. If it was Si Wenqin who said this, Sibo Hong would definitely be very nervous and ask questions, but he never cared about her life or death. Dad, I went to the hospital to see Shi Shujing in the afternoon. Why did you go to see her? She's pregnant and now she's hospitalized. It's only right for me to visit her. Aha. Did you get rid of the child? No. Sibo Hong's face darkened. That woman is like a cockroach that can't be killed. She's so annoying. Things have already come to this. You'd better accept her. Her mother has already agreed for them to be together. What? That woman? Sibo Hong gritted his teeth. I knew it. I can't achieve anything by relying on a woman. But I don't intend to rely on her. It's already been a few months. Can't you see how firm Wenqin is towards this relationship? No matter what you do, he will never break up with Shi Shujing. It will only ruin your relationship. What else can I do? In short, I will never let that woman be on the Si family's household register. Silan thought about it and tried to ask. As long as she doesn't use the household register? What do you mean? What I mean is, since Wenqin can't leave Shujing, it's useless for you to force him. Instead of using some extreme methods, why don't you use some gentler methods? Sibo Hong roughly understood what she meant. You're saying? Yes. I'm stuck in the middle and I'm also in a dilemma. My method can be said to be the best of both worlds. As long as each of you is willing to take a step back, it's good for everyone. As soon as Si Wenqin finished his meeting, he rushed straight from the office to the hospital. He didn't expect to see someone in the hospital corridor. Sibo Hong. This was the second time the father and son met on the battlefield, in the hospital, and their relationship was even more strained than before. What are you doing here? I'm warning you, if you dare to hurt Shujing, don't blame me for taking action against Shangyang. As soon as Sibo Hong heard this, he couldn't hold back his anger and wanted to argue with him on the spot. However, when he thought about the purpose of his visit today, he could only suppress his anger. I didn't do anything to her. I came today to discuss something with you. I'm not interested in your matters. You can be uninterested in my matters, but if it's related to that woman, are you still not interested? You know my temper. If I say that I won't accept her, then if you want to marry her, you'll have to do it over my dead body. I have a million ways to kill that woman. It's easy for me to make a person disappear from this world, but I didn't do it. It's all because I care about your feelings and our father-son relationship. Si Wenqin found it funny when he heard this. Don't tell me you haven't used enough despicable and shameless methods? Isn't it enough that you've used every method to torture her? You actually have the cheek to pretend to be righteous. Whatever you say. In short, she can forget about getting any status. However, you're my most beloved son and I don't want to continue fighting with you, so I can only take a step back. Sibo Hong hid his true intentions as he said this. Sure, Shujing, I can let her stay by your side, but the child can't be kept. Not only this one, she can forget about it in the future. Also, you must accept the marriage I've arranged for you. You must marry a woman with a clean background and a good match for the C family. If you agree, then I won't interfere with you two anymore. Although I really hate her, it's not a big deal for my family to raise one outside. I can also turn a blind eye to it. Si Baihong thought that he was being very magnanimous. To him, this was already a very big concession. He was an influential figure in the business world of Quicksand City, and he always meant what he said. He was ruthless in everything he did, and he had never given in to anyone. Now that he was old and he was facing his own son, he had no choice but to make such a decision. You're right. Si Wenqin only twitched the corner of his mouth. When did you learn to give in? Do you think I want to? I don't want no one to send me off. It's not worth it to fall out with you because of a woman like that. Your interest in her is only temporary. Wait until she becomes your woman. After a long time, you'll realize that she's actually nothing special. She's not worth it. What you want to marry is a woman who can help you in your career. Sibo Hong quietly observed Si Wenqin's expression. Seeing that he seemed to be moved, he continued. This is the best of both worlds. If you don't agree, then I'll have to take more extreme measures. Are you threatening me? I'm just giving you one last chance. Fine, I cannot marry Shujing, but the matter of the child has to be put aside. After all, it's my flesh and blood. I can't do it. According to Sibo Hong's intention, he couldn't wait to arrange for Shujing to have an abortion right now. But considering that Si Wenqin had finally compromised, he was afraid that the negotiation would collapse if he pushed too hard. He could only take it one step at a time, so he nodded. Fine, then I'll give you another half a month. Who is the woman who can help me in my career? The one I like must be 1,000 times better than Shujing. The daughter of Rongxin Sudai. She just graduated from a famous school abroad. She's smart and beautiful. She'll definitely be a good wife for you. Most importantly, she's Su Feng's only daughter. In the future, the whole of Rongxin will be hers, which means yours. Chapter 247. Si Wenqin raised his eyebrows. His eyes didn't show much interest, but he wasn't completely indifferent either. When? The night after tomorrow. I've asked President Su out for dinner. You can meet him then. He has always praised you and intends to matchmake you. Okay. Since he agreed so readily, Sibo Hong couldn't help but be a little suspicious. You agreed? I'm like you. I'm amenable to coaxing but not coercion. After all, we are father and son. I don't want to have a bad relationship with you. I don't have to marry Shujing. As long as she stays by my side, that's enough. Sibo Hong nodded. That's more like my son. A man should focus on his career. As for a woman, if you marry someone who can help you in your career, I don't care how you play outside. It's settled then. Don't make any mistakes. Gao Zhuqing looked for a job for many days but to no avail. In the end, only a small magazine company was willing to hire her. Forced by reality, she could only do the most shameful job in the past, paparazzi, the kind that specialized in digging up scandals of celebrities. Digging up scandals required long-term stalking. It was very tiring. But what Gao Zhuqing couldn't stand the most was that she also felt that digging up people's privacy was a very immoral thing to do. But in order to make a living, she had no other choice. For the past week, she was responsible for stalking a male celebrity named Zhang Xing. He had always played the role of a good man on the screen, but in private he was very indulgent. He often went to nightclubs to pick up girls. Gao Zhuqing had been following him. When he got out of the car, fully armed, Gao Zhuqing secretly followed him. But Zhang Xing didn't enter the bar directly. Instead he went to the back alley. Strange, what is he doing here? Where is he? Lost him again? Gao Zhuqing was about to enter the bar to catch him when she was suddenly pressed against the wall. She screamed. Damn pervert, let go of me. You stalked me and called me a pervert? Zhang Xing held her down with one hand and grabbed her camera with the other. I knew someone was following me. After following me for so long, are you tired? Gao Zhuqing remained calm. You can delete the photos and give me back my camera. Okay, I'll return it to you. As Zhang Xing spoke, he smashed the camera against the wall. Why did you smash my camera? Who asked you to take photos of me? I've had enough of you disgusting paparazzi. You're a public figure, it's normal for you to be photographed. If you can't afford to play, then don't work in the entertainment industry. A scumbag like you doesn't deserve to work in the entertainment industry. I will expose your true colors and kick you out of the entertainment industry. You want me to scram? Do you have the ability? Zhang Xing grabbed her by the neck. It's just a paparazzi. I can settle it with some money. You're courting death. However, you are quite pretty. Why don't you play with me? I don't want it. Let go of me. Let go. Gao Zhuqing was scared. He struggled with all his might, but he was no match for a man. He tore at her collar with all his might. Let go. Save me. The weight on his body suddenly lightened. Zhang Xing was dragged away by two bodyguards. What do you want? Don't you know who I am? Let go of me. Zhang Xing shouted arrogantly, but the bodyguards didn't care who he was. They punched him to the ground and kicked him. They beat Zhang Xing until he was half dead and dragged him away. Where are you taking him? Don't go. Don't worry, we won't throw him to the dogs. A cold voice sounded. Gao Zhuqing turned around. It was indeed Gu Qinghan. He was the kind of bastard who looked gentle on the surface but was very violent behind the scenes. Furthermore, he was vicious and merciless. Zhang Xing would not have a good ending if he fell into his hands. Are you okay? What does it have to do with you whether I'm okay or not? Why do you care? If it wasn't for me just now, you would have been, just thinking of that possibility, Gu Qinghan already wanted to tear Zhang Xing into pieces, completely remove him from the entertainment circle, and drive him out of Flozhen City. It was still too easy on him, he should be chopped into pieces and fed to the dogs. I'm warning you, don't act recklessly. You have to pay with your life for killing someone. You're still protecting him? I'm not protecting him. I just don't want a madman like you to kill someone. Anyone who dares to touch you must die. Gu Qinghan fiercely grinded his teeth. In his eyes, there was a viciousness that was the complete opposite of his refined and handsome appearance. This was what Gao Zhuqing hated the most. She didn't deny that Gu Qinghan treated her well. However, he was too vicious and merciless. He had always been submit to me and prosper, or oppose me and perish. Being with him was no different from accompanying a king is like accompanying a tiger. He could pamper her to the heavens, but he could also push her to hell. She had once been cruelly torn apart by him, which was why she was so resistant to him now. I have nothing to do with you. I don't need you to care about my business. Gao Zhuqing wanted to leave, but Gu Qinghan grabbed her wrist. The pain made her speechless. He loosened his grip a little, but he didn't let go of her completely. How long do you want to bicker with me? I'm bickering with you? When did I ever bicker with you? Gao Zhuqing laughed and asked. I live my life and do my job. We don't interfere with each other's business. Don't flatter yourself. You're really not that important. Following those messy people and secretly taking private photos all day is called work? You're torturing yourself. Gao Zhuqing argued with him. Yes, my job is not honorable and I'm not as noble as you, Xiaogu. However, I can rely on my salary to support myself. That's enough. You're wasting your talent. You should become an outstanding designer, not a paparazzi that people despise. What should be and what shouldn't be? Is it up to you to judge? It's enough as long as I think it's good. It has nothing to do with you. Gu Qinghan's face turned a little green. It's been more than 3 years and you're still going against me? Do you know how much it pains me to see you spoil yourself like this? Do you know anything about it? You pester me like this and I hate it. Before you appeared, I've been living a relaxed and happy life. But when you annoy me, I feel like I'm suffocating. I'm always thinking, why are people dying everywhere but you, the most damned devil, are still alive and well? You want me to die? Yes. Only when you die can I be free. If you don't have to pay with your life, then Gu Qinghan, I would have killed you a long time ago. Gu Qinghan smiled coldly. Fine, you and I will perish together. We'll die together. In your dreams. You're not worth me wasting my life. Besides, even if I die, I don't want to die with you. Gao Zhuqing ignored the pain in his wrist and forcibly pulled his hand out. His phone rang. Did you get the photos? The person on the other end of the phone asked urgently. No. No? How can there be no photos? Didn't you follow me for a week, patting your chest and saying that you must get the photos tonight? I've already warmed up that there will be big news tonight. How do you expect me to explain it? Let's use something else to cover it up first. How can it be so easy? Do you think people nowadays are stupid? They want to see the hot news, the popular celebrity, the likes of Zhang Xing. I think you're an idiot. You can't get anything wasting manpower. And you still say that you used to be a great reporter. If you can't get anything, get lost. The veins on Gu Qinghan's forehead were throbbing when he heard the curses. He clenched his fist, wishing he could drag the person on the other end of the phone out and beat him up. In order to keep his job, Gao Zhuqing could only apologize profusely. I'm sorry. I still have other clues. I'll go and follow up on other news. I promise I'll give you an explosive piece of news tonight. After apologizing, Gao Zhuqing hurriedly left. He made phone calls as he walked. After asking many people, he finally found a useful clue. It's so boring to dig up celebrity scandals. Nowadays people like to read the scandals of the rich and powerful. Do you know the #1 princess? It's that Su Dai. She's going on a blind date tonight. Gao Zhuqing's interest was piqued. Blind date? With who? I don't know. But I found the location. Are you interested? Of course. Su Dai's news has always been a selling point. Hurry up and tell me. I'm counting on this to survive. Hilton Hotel? Private room number? Okay, I'll remember it. I'll treat you to a meal next time. Gao Zhuqing hurriedly flagged down a car and was almost hit by it. Fortunately, Gu Qinghan pulled him back from the road. Who dares to flag down a car in the middle of the road? Mind your own business. Why do you keep following me? Don't you find it annoying? Gu Qinghan was so angry that he lost his temper. I've saved you twice tonight. How can you say that to me? I didn't beg you to save me. Hilton Hotel, right? I'll send you there. I don't want to. At this time it was rush hour. Even the taxis were occupied. Gao Zhuqing tried for more than 10 minutes but still couldn't get a taxi. She was so anxious that she was sweating. She could only take photos outside the hotel. When the taxi driver entered the hotel, it would be very difficult to take photos and she would lose her job. She really had no choice but to vent her anger at Gu Qinghan with a sullen face. It's all your fault that I lost my news. Send me there as atonement. But don't think about doing anything to me. Even if I let you send me there, it doesn't mean that you'll forgive me. We have nothing to do with each other. You're just a driver. Her attitude was very arrogant. When she asked for help, she still acted as if she was doing the other party a favor. But Gu Qinghan just wanted to stay by her side, even if it was just for a minute or a second. So he nodded good-naturedly. As soon as she got in the car, Gao Zhuqing put on her headphones and listened to music. She didn't get out of the car immediately until they arrived at the hotel entrance. Because the car was more hidden, it was more convenient for her to take photos. You're not getting out of the car? Can't bear to leave me? Gu Qinghan asked. Gao Zhuqing rolled her eyes. Don't disgust me. When they come, I'll leave after taking photos. After waiting for about 15 minutes, a luxury car stopped at the entrance of the hotel. The driver got out of the car and opened the door respectfully. A middle-aged man and a tall and beautiful woman got out of the car. Gao Zhuqing's eyes were fixed. It was Su Dai. She hurriedly took dozens of photos. Chapter 248. She's so pretty and has a great figure. She must be at least 1.75 meters tall. TSK, mixed blood sure has its advantages. I wonder which man is so lucky to have a blind date with her. Suddenly, a voice drifted into her ears. I don't think she's as pretty as you. Gao Zhuqing rolled her eyes. Your vulgar flattery is useless to me. Besides, lying through your teeth will only make me think that you're a big idiot. Then she got out of the car and slammed the door shut. Gao Zhuqing entered the hotel and secretly followed behind Su Dai. She heard from the waiter that they had arrived first, so she waited in the corridor for them. After a while, a familiar figure entered her line of sight. Bossy? How did she bump into her idol here? What a coincidence. Gao Zhuqing wanted to greet him, but he was not alone. He was accompanied by an old man in his 70s. Although his hair was white, his eyes were sharper than a young man's and he looked energetic. But what surprised her the most was that Si Wenxin had walked into Su Dai's private room. Could he be Su Dai's blind date? Gao Zhuqing was so shocked that she forgot to take a picture. Wasn't Si Wenxin with Shi Shujing? Why was he here on a blind date? And looking at his expression, there was no sign of reluctance. Could it be that he had betrayed her behind Shi Shujing's back? No. Even if all the men in the world cheated on her, her idol would never cheat on her. But, how could she be so sure of a man like him? Gao Zhuqing's mind was in a mess. Elder Si. Long time no see. Su Qingshan greeted him warmly. I wanted to ask you out for a game of golf, but I couldn't get you. You're really busy. Si Baiheng was old, and in the entire Flozhen city's business world, he was an influential figure. Even a financial tycoon like Su Qingshan had to act like a junior in front of him, and was very respectful. How am I busy? I'm just bored. I'm old and my body is weak. I can't play anymore. Not at all. I can see that you're in good spirits. The two of them chatted for a while. Sibo Hong's gaze landed on Su Dai. You must be young Miss Su. Yes, as expected of President Su's daughter. Beautiful and elegant. Yeah, I don't have much to be proud of in this life. My biggest pride is my daughter. Don't say that I'm boasting, my daughter is really an exceptional girl. Hello, uncle. Good. Sibo Hong was very satisfied, and his eyes narrowed as he smiled. Hello, brother Si. Su Dai's performance was natural and unrestrained. She had the demeanor of a lady from a wealthy family, but she didn't lose the sweetness of a little woman. Because she was a mixed blood, her eyes were a light green, revealing a hint of intelligence. Her facial features were also very exquisite, as if they had been drawn with a brush, clean and delicate. Si Wenxin nodded. His gaze only lingered on her for a second before he looked away. Come, let's sit and talk. After they sat down, Sibo Hong kept praising Su Dai. A person's background really determined a person's temperament. Not only was Su Dai beautiful, but her manner of speaking, her noble attitude, and her upbringing were all very intelligent. She was definitely not someone a shady woman like Shi Shujing could compare to. He was very satisfied with her and believed that Si Wenxin would change his mind. Wenxin, look at how good Su Dai is. I made a long appointment with her before President Su agreed to bring his precious daughter out. You have to take good care of her, understand? Si Wenxin smiled. It's only right for a man to take care of a woman. Moreover, it's a beauty like Miss Su. It's my honor to take care of her. Moreover, didn't you guys hope that we can develop further? Miss Su was chosen by you, so there's nothing to be picky about. If she gets married in the future, she'll bring glory to the Si family. Sibo Hong was overjoyed. However, just like you said, the Su family and the Si family are well matched in terms of social status. A marriage between the two families will benefit both parties. In the future, we can carry on the bloodline and nurture the most outstanding next generation. If I marry her, it'll be considered an explanation to the Si family. As for having a few more women outside, it's not a big deal. What nonsense are you talking about? Isn't that what you said? As long as I marry her, you can turn a blind eye. When did I say something like that? Sibo Hong was so anxious that he kept sending him signals with his eyes. Don't act recklessly. Si Wenxin only smiled faintly. You said it yourself. I only agreed to come because of this. Don't tell me you want to change your words? Su Qingshan's expression was already very ugly. Since it's a blind date, I think it's better to be honest, right? Otherwise, wouldn't we be letting down a good woman like Miss Su? Among the men in our circle, how many of them don't have some romantic affairs outside? Even Mr. Su has one. Just as the atmosphere was getting tense, Su Dai suddenly spoke up. Big brother C, I know you didn't volunteer for this blind date today. To be honest, I expected this to happen. If you want to use this to humiliate me, it's useless. She still maintained her good demeanor and smiled. You did all this for Shi Shujing, right? I've seen the news about you guys. You're willing to do all this for her, so you must love her very much. I think all women would be very envious of her and yearn for such an earth-shattering love. So, I've hesitated before whether or not I should step in. But love is different from other things. There's no such thing as first come, first served. At least that's how I see it. Should I give up just because I met you later than her? That would be too much of a pity. We're born into a family like this. Our starting point is higher than others and our expectations are also higher than others. We're always constantly chasing after better things. It's true that you like Shi Shujing now, but perhaps after we get to know each other, you'll realize that I'm better than her and more suitable for you. If you don't give it a try, I think it'll be a loss for you. Su Dai's words shocked Su Qingshan and Sibo Hong. Not only did she resolve the awkwardness, but she also acted bravely and spoke in a very appropriate manner. Sibo Hong admired her even more. The Si family needed a mistress like her. It couldn't be denied that Si Wenshin admired her quite a bit. After all, there weren't many women who dared to say such things in front of him. But to him, her words didn't mean anything. Miss Su, I admire your courage, but to me, love isn't a question of comparison. If we're talking about external factors, then Shi Shujing definitely can't compare to you, nor can he compare to many other women. But why did I choose her? This means that there's something about her that's extremely attractive to me. It's something that I can't feel from other women. Because of this, she seems especially special. Perhaps there's a light on her that others can't see, but to me, it's like the only light in the dark. Unfortunately, I can't see it on you at all. I've experienced many things and I'm very confident in my life. I'm very clear about what I like and what I don't like. It's extremely difficult for me to set my mind on someone, but once I set my mind on someone, I won't change. But you're different. You just graduated this year and are only 20 years old. There's a lot of things you haven't experienced. Perhaps, you don't know what love is. You just think my qualities match your preferences, so you think it's like. But love isn't that shallow. I'm not here to humiliate you today. I've already made myself clear. You're a smart woman and you know how to choose. When Si Wenshin said this, his attitude was very clear. He didn't leave any leeway for Su Dai. When it came to something impossible, he would make it very clear. He came today to embarrass Sibo Hong, not to humiliate Su Dai. After all, he was a man in his 30s. He definitely wouldn't make things difficult for a little girl. Especially after Su Dai said those words, he felt that she had a sense of propriety and didn't cause trouble. So he didn't feel any disgust. He thought that it would be best if Su Dai could back off in the face of difficulties. Then there would be no need to hurt the Su family's relationship. But he didn't expect that for Su Dai. This wasn't just an ordinary blind date. She was completely focused on him. Sibo Hong had been enduring for the whole night. Su Qingshan was also suppressing his anger. He only said that it was the young people's business and he shouldn't interfere. However, as soon as he got in the car, Sibo Hong's expression changed. He flew into a rage and almost flipped the car over. Si Wenshin, however, didn't seem to care and was still smiling. Take it easy. Be careful of bursting your blood vessels. If I die of anger, won't that be exactly what you want? No one will stop you from being with that woman anymore. I've already made such a big concession. What else do you want? Sibo Hong really thought that his son was smart enough and knew how to judge the situation. However, he didn't expect that he would be fooled by him like this and make a fool of himself. Do you know that Shangyang is going to cooperate with Rongxi next month? If you do this, everything will be ruined by you. Oh, Si Wenshin was still smiling. So, I think you've really been cursed by that woman. You've turned around and pointed the gun at me. Do you think I'll harm you? I've heard these words 100 times. Can you put it in a different way? You're the one who's good to me and I'm the one who doesn't know what's good for me. I feel like vomiting when I hear it. To be honest, Ocean Group's current scale has already surpassed Shangyang's. Therefore your threats are useless. It's not that you're tolerating me, but I've been tolerating you. Sibo Hong's expression changed when he heard that. This was the first time he truly felt that the person sitting in front of him wasn't his son, but a powerful opponent who could compete with him. He had painstakingly nurtured him, hoping that his achievements would surpass his. Now he indeed had the ability to do so, but it was against him. This made him feel an indescribable sadness. Chapter 249. Si Wenxin could not bear to see him hurt and desolate. If he had not been forced to this state, who would be willing to turn against his own father? However, if he did not take a firmer stance now, Shi Shujing would be the one hurt in the end. Between the two, Shi Shujing was still the weak one, and he was already pregnant. He could not let the child be in any danger. In the other car, Su Qingshan was also furious at Si Wenxin and scolded him along the way. He's just a junior. What right does he have to be so arrogant in front of me? Is Ocean Group that great just because it has some achievements? When he founded the company, I helped him a lot. Now that his wings have grown, he's so arrogant? I knew about his relationship with that Shi Shujing, so I didn't plan to arrange a dinner today. It was Sibo Hong who kept calling me, so I gave him face. In the end, he humiliated you like this. I'm so angry. Su Dai was not unhappy at all. Alright, Dad, you've been talking for more than 10 minutes. Aren't you thirsty? Is there a need to be so angry? He humiliated my precious daughter. How can I not be angry? I don't think that's a humiliation. I think he's quite honest. I've seen many rich second-generation heirs, and not many of them are honest after marriage. They have a bunch of mistresses and mistresses outside, but they still drag their wives along to put on a show and pretend to be in love. That's really disgusting. On the contrary, people like Big Brother C are usually the most loyal after marriage. What do you mean by straightforward? I think he's just arrogant. Who goes on blind dates like that? What kind of words are those? What does he take you for? Su Dai pursed her lips. You're still criticizing him? After you divorced Mom, didn't you often fool around outside? As far as I know, you've already had a few and they were all at the same time. Don't you feel embarrassed? You're so disrespectful. What about you? Are you speechless now? I'm angry for you, but you're still criticizing me. What kind of logic is that? I'm on the side of reason. Besides, I'm just teasing you. I'm not saying that you're in the wrong. However, you'd better find me a stepmother. As long as you're older than me, even if it's just an hour, I can accept it. How about it? Isn't your daughter open-minded enough? Su Dai hugged Su Qingfeng's arm and leaned her head on his shoulder. She stuck out her tongue and made a face, looking very cute and mischievous, causing Su Qingfeng to lose his temper. So, you really like that Si Wenxin? I quite like his personality, but whether or not it will work depends on the future. Let's take it slow. When Su Dai got home, she took out an old handkerchief from the box in the drawer. All these years, no matter where she went, she always carried it with her. That year she was only 11 years old. When she was waiting for her parents in a hotel restaurant, she encountered a fire. It was a young man who saved her. He wet the handkerchief, covered her nose, and took her out of the fire. If it weren't for him, she would have been killed by the smoke even if she wasn't burned to death. That person was Si Wenxin. He saved her life, and she had always remembered this kindness in her heart. Now she could finally repay him. As soon as Si Wenxin entered the ward, he saw Shi Shujing sitting gloomily at the head of the bed. His facial features were all scrunched up, and he immediately went forward to show his concern. What's wrong, my little darling? Who made you angry? I quarreled with my mother. Si Wenxin thought it was because of him, but he heard her continue. In the afternoon, I heard from the nurse that there was a delicious spicy crayfish restaurant near the hospital. I was also hungry, so I asked my mother to buy it for me, but she refused. She even forced me to drink a big bowl of bird's nest. Don't you think it's very infuriating? Si Wenxin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Seeing her so angry, he thought it was something serious, but it turned out that his darling could be even cuter? It's just a spicy crayfish. Is it worth it for you to be so angry? How is it not worth it? Try it for more than a week. You've been taking supplements every day. Let's see if you're tired of it. Now, I want to vomit when I smell it. I know I'm pregnant and have to avoid food, but I don't eat any chili at all. It's really uncomfortable. There's no taste in my mouth at all. Shi Shujing complained endlessly, and Si Wenxin's heart ached when he heard it. He held her face with both hands. Darling, it's been hard on you. Hold on a little longer, okay? No? I've only been pregnant for a month now, and I still have to hold on for 9 more months. I'm going crazy. I don't care, I just want to eat, I want to eat. Si Wenxin was amused. Why didn't I know you were so willful in the past? I'm pregnant. Pregnant women are very willful. This is nature, and it's the law of nature that cannot be defied. But I remember someone saying that pregnancy is twice as strong, not twice as willful. Well, Actually, the baby wants to eat it. I'm fighting for him. Shi Shujing said something that even she herself found shocking. Are you sure? Then I'll ask him. Si Wenchen put his hand on her belly and asked. Baby, tell daddy, are you the one who wants to eat spicy crayfish, or is it your mother who wants to eat it? As if he could really hear something, Si Wenchen nodded. The baby said that you want to eat it. No, I've only been pregnant for a month. You can't hear anything when you're on my belly, okay? Since you know, then why did you say that the baby wants to eat it? Shi Shujing was defeated by him. She was completely speechless and continued to put on a bitter expression. You really want to eat it? Yes. Okay. Then I'll take you to eat it when we're discharged next week. Really? Shi Shujing was a little surprised that he was so easy to talk to all of a sudden. When have I ever lied to you? I don't want you to endure too much. We'll eat whatever you want to eat. As long as you're happy, you can eat as much as you want. Hearing this now, Shi Shujing was so moved that she was about to cry. Wenchen, I love you. Just because of these words, Si Wenchen wished that he could bring all the delicacies in the world to her. She was his sweetheart and he wanted to give her the best of everything. It didn't matter if she was stubborn once or twice. Anyway, he would spoil her. Although Si Wenchen promised to bring Shi Shujing to eat crayfish, it was still next week. Thus, while he and Yan Zizhuang were not around, she quickly asked Gao Zhuqing to smuggle a few scallion pancakes over. Shi Shujing chewed on the scallion pancakes with tears in her eyes. She felt that her taste buds had come alive. Sigh, eat slowly. No one is fighting with you. Those who don't know might think that you've been mistreated and haven't eaten for a few days. That's enough. Eating those supplements every day is worse than not eating. You don't know how lucky you are. Do you know that I've been eating instant noodles for 4 days and I had to borrow money from my colleagues to buy the scallion pancakes today? Is it that bad? I still have a lot of supplements here. When you leave, take a few boxes back to replenish your energy. Shi Shujing wiped her oily lips. You seem to be very busy recently. I don't know why I can't contact you. I don't know what you're busy with. Work? I'm just trying to make a living. What kind of work is so tiring? You look so tanned. Paparazzi, following celebrities every day. That good? Help me ask Andy Lau for his autograph when you're with him. Gao Zhuqing slapped her hand away. Give my A***s. Are you still human? Hee. Alright, has that Gu Qinghan been bothering you lately? Just hearing that name made Gao Zhuqing's stomach churn. He rolled his eyes to the back of his head. Nonsense. He's like a ghost that won't leave me alone. If not for the fact that I don't have money, I would have hired the triads to kill him. Why don't you lend me $1 million to buy one of his hands? Shi Shujing asked hesitantly. Actually, what heinous things did he do to make you hate him so much? Gao Zhuqing's character was a bit shrewish, but she had always been a clear-cut person. Her anger came and went quickly. She rarely bore a grudge against someone. That Gu Qinghan definitely poked her weak spot. Moreover, he even schemed against her last time. It was definitely his fault. When I was young, he raped me. Gu Shijio mumbled. Shi Shujing's eyes widened in fear. Ah, look at how scared you are. I'm just joking with you. If he dared to treat me like that, I would have cut him into pieces. Gao Zhuqing was laughing, but there was a flash of pain in his eyes. It was just a flash and Shi Shujing couldn't catch it. Don't joke like this. I'll take it seriously. That's because you're stupid. Where's Bossy? He went to the company. Oh, Gao Zhuqing had been in a dilemma. Should she tell him what she saw that day? She only knew that Si Wenchen and the Su family had met, but she wasn't sure if it was a blind date. If she really said it, it would be purely groundless and affect their relationship. However, she had always been straightforward and couldn't hide things, especially when it came to Shi Shujing. She felt uncomfortable holding it in. Do you think Boss C treats you well? Yes. Shi Shujing's face was filled with happiness. Although we've been through a lot of twists and turns, he treats me really well. Then do you think you really understand him? I don't mean anything else. I just feel that such a man is too far away from our lives. It's as if he doesn't belong to the same world. Do you understand? So, I'm afraid you can't control him. Between him and I, we're in a relationship of mutual respect and equality. There's no one controlling the other. I know what you mean. In the beginning, I also broke up with him because of my inferiority complex. Even though I made up with him, I was still worried and felt that I didn't deserve him. However, he never gave up on me. After he got together with me, he kept a distance from every woman. This is something that most men can't do. Moreover, he has so many women around him. Just based on this point, I'm sure that I didn't entrust myself to the wrong person. I think he's the kind of person who wants to spend the rest of his life with someone once he has made up his mind. If he didn't want to spend the rest of his life with me, he wouldn't have done so much for me and persisted until now. So, I have 100% confidence in him now. You're tuning in to the Han Lee's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.